Guys, welcome Sunday live stream tattoo critique, where we're going to take a look at your work and give you guys our 2 cents. As always, I don't know if my internet is going to act like a potato or not, or if you're going to be viewable properly, but nonetheless, we'll push forward. We'll try to adapt as we go. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. My internet is hit or miss at best. It appears to be coming through pretty decently, so I'll take that as a win for now. Guys, I hope you had a fantastic Sunday. I know I did. We had a great church service, just fantastic. Got to do a little bit of tattooing today. But nonetheless, again, get your guys' work sent in to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's artmesomething@gmail.com. We'll be going in order. So it's a first come, first serve thing. So the sooner you get that sent in, the more likely you are that we take a look at your work. We usually run for a couple of hours. We get as far as we can, and then we have to stop at some point. If not, we just kind of keep going and keep going and keep going. If you guys have any questions along the way, put them in the chat. The chat can help you out. There's some great people in chat that can definitely help answer questions if you're struggling with something, or myself or Andy can look over and see what you got going on and maybe chime in as well. Our only purpose here is to help you guys out. I have Andy waiting just right over here. We'll pull him in just a moment. But again, I just want to reiterate before we go and take a look at your guys' work, before we kick this thing off, that me and Andy we're just regular tattoo artists who just truly enjoy tattooing and are still learning, are still trying to critique ourselves, get better. You know the dealio. So we might say something about your particular work that we might struggle with as well. So take everything with a grain of salt. If you don't like what I have to say, then it is what it is. Move along. Don't worry about it. If smoke busts your balls in the chat, just don't worry about it. You know how it goes. So anyhow, guys, also one last thing that has nothing to do with tattooing real quick is if you follow at all, I've been working on quitting vaping, and I have to report that I finally have, really putting the effort in. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm taking a few hits here and there in the evening time, but I am trying. So if you want to continue to follow the saga of will Dave ever quit vaping, well, there is your update. So now that we're done with all the things that are not tattoo related, let's jump in and pull Andy in here. I think he's typing, but we're bringing him in. Andy, welcome, brother.
I'm here, Dave. Another Sunday night. So I'll tell you what, we've got a few in early here watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, glad.
Chat's going well. We've got long time John's in chat, John Hernandez. Underground John down in Dubai.
Oh, what's going on, John?
He's down there doing this stuff. He's
yeah.
He must have had an afternoon sleep for him to stay up this late.
That I know you take it for granted that everybody's on different time schedules and whatnot. But John, I hear you are working on maybe getting out of there. Hopefully all that works well. Again, apologize for my camera call quality. I do want to take a quick look at our thumbnail photo. If I can get that. There it is. This was sent to me by my lovely wife, who said, "Hey, you want to use this one?" I said, "Oh my goodness, why not?" I'm not exactly sure. I think this is supposed to be the girl from, well, I don't even remember now. What the heck is that? Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe? Maybe it's the Nightmare Before Christmas girl. I don't know. But if you have problems tattooing lines, you probably shouldn't take on a tattoo that pretty much is lines, right? And that face, I don't know. This hair kind of looks like a Nike swoosh here. It's like we should not just do it. We should just let it rest. And also, it's just so much. But again, this is on somebody's side. This is a big tattoo. This is taking up the majority of their side. I feel bad for this person who let somebody do something they shouldn't have too soon. We all struggle here. We're all trying to learn, but this is not the way to go. I mean, the pink is pretty vibrant. I give them that, but it's obviously not saturated throughout. And I don't know. It's looking like an AI hand over here. I don't know if you guys monkeyed with AI art, but it tends to get you about 10 fingers. This one's got 10 fingers and a growth going on. And now this one, look over now. If we get close, we got a freaking like a mitten over here. That's a straight mitten, Andy. That is a knife hand. If you ever had a knife hand. Yes. So anyhow, there's some issues going on here, and we just try to
Some,
avoid this. We try to help people
some
out.
issues.
Just some, but Andy, I think you still did a good job, Andy. I think it's still, even everything else, I think you pulled through, and at least you have something to show. You know what I mean?
I can't believe you actually trolled all the way to the bottom of my Instagram to find that, Dave. You know what I mean?
I'm kidding. This was Joey's. I found Joey Bowie. Yeah, scrolled to the bottom of his Instagram, found this. He's not here, so I can give him a hard time. So.
Oh, right.
At least I haven't seen him yet.
I mean, unfortunately, let's be right. I mean, this is a proper train wreck. It's a proper car crash. It's, oh my God.
Here in the States, train wrecks are kind of a big deal right now. So,
right.
Or train derailments, but this is on par with that, I do believe.
Yeah. There's a kid in chat. I'm just having a look here. Let me just flip back up here. There's a kid in chat.
Danik's in the chat. What's up, Danik?
Costek Delata. Hello from Halifax, UK. Well, if that's Halifax, UK, I'm thinking of you're only down the road from me, pal. Literally for a few miles away from me.
Look at that. Look at that. Making finding people everywhere. Jeremy's here. What's up, Jeremy? James. Oh, okay, James. James is. Oh, that's not that guy. James, man. He says, "Damn, that tattoo is clean." Yeah.
Only way I call that one clean is if he's washed it down with green soap after.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the cleanest way. Where is he from? Nice, mate. Where are you from? Is it Costa de Leeds? Just down the road from Halifax, where I'm in Leeds. So I'm not too far away from you.
Right, Sean. Well. How many? Oh, we got some emails in already, guys. So honestly, get them in now while you have time, because I'm pretty sure there's a good 15 in already. So we'll see what we can get through, guys. But if you're just getting in now and you want to get your work, I can't speak. If you want us to look at your work, get it in now, sooner than later. I put the notice out super early this week in hopes that, it would catch people and they would be like, oh yeah, let me get my stuff sent in. If you have anything ready,
it must have caught Stevie Green anyway. He usually goes to bed early. And needs his beauty sleep and everything, with him being knocking on a little bit. That's it. He must have had a bit of a nana nap this afternoon. Managed to stay up. Got his beauty sleep in.
Oh, man, that's so responsible of you, Stevie. Yeah. Thinking ahead, getting that nap in. He's got a big live stream you got to be a part of. Hey, we're happy to have you in the stream, man.
Yeah, if he goes a bit quiet in chat, he's just having 40 winks. He's just getting a bit of a power nap in and then he'll be back.
Oh shoot! Who else we got? We're gonna be jumping. We're gonna be kicking this off in just a couple minutes, but we gotta say hi to everybody and do the shenanigans.
Are you later, Zid?
Are you later's here? We got there's just quite a few people that we haven't seen in a while. Nothing too crazy. Danik just got back from a vacation in Mexico. You poor thing, Danik. Wow, you poor thing. Oh, yeah, he missed the train derailment, the UFOs being shot down, and you did miss bad tattoos. Now, we weren't here last Sunday because of the Super Bowl. Just figured I didn't really care for the teams. It was a good game, in my opinion. I didn't have any skin in the game. But we figured we'd just take that Sunday off anyhow so everybody could watch people run around, as Andy puts it, in what, stretchy pants, Andy? How's that go?
Yeah, spandex lycra, you know what I mean? Running around in... A load of men running around in spandex playing with balls. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes.
Right. Okay, Mike does ask a question. Do you put them in when it says notifications or wait until you come on? That's a good question. Usually I put the notifications out around 5 o'clock. But yeah, once the notification goes out, you can send your work in and I will look at it. Live. So let's see. Our first tattoo came in at 5:04. That's gonna be Lane. So we're gonna start with Lane and then just work our way on up until we run out of time. So make sure you have notifications turned on, even though I know YouTube in YouTube fashion doesn't really let anybody know, but it's worth a try. Okay. So with all that out of the way, we better get going here. Let's see. Let's get the email pulled up. Bam. There we go. First up is Lane. Lane says, "Hello, my name is Lane. I taught myself to tattoo by watching your videos and watching other artists." Yeah, that's a thing now. I've been practicing for about a year and hope to get an apprenticeship soon. Any critique would be great so I can improve and get better. All right, man, let's see what we got. We got one piece. Okay. Oh, zoomed in fast. Hey, so far from just a quick glance, I think it looks pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. We'll get in a little bit, not too far. We'll get in a little bit, take a look, see what we got, see if there's anything we can help you out with. All right. I think we'll go, I wouldn't go any closer than this. Beyond this is already pretty close, getting closer. We'll just be doing an in disservice, I guess. All right. I like the black in this. It has a nice heavy black. How you think about them eyelashes, Andy? I know you like your eyelashes.
Yeah, get in there with them eyelashes. It's a bit, I'm going to say they're a bit blunt. They're a little bit blunt on end for me. I just like to see the wicks off, on end. But hey, we're getting into nitpicking. And that black, like you said, nice, super solid black in there. There's some nice bits of shading, and left enough breathability in the face, in the skull, and things like that, so that it reads from a distance.
Yeah.
But if you pick anything, I think butterflies don't seem to be on sort of like same caliber as the rest of it. They just seem to be a bit, I don't know, a bit shaky compared to the rest of it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They do look a little less refined as the rest of the piece. Maybe just fighting with those little things can, you get a little ahead of yourself. I do like that they took the time to leave this little bit of a gap around this butterfly down here so it doesn't get completely lost in the tattoo.
Yeah.
I like the little open spots, to make sure it's readable. I like this little light bit on the side here. The fact that you didn't just go in there and just black out the entire inside of the nose, but took the time to make sure these little bits here are visible. Same in the eye. We got a little bit of socket stuff going on, which is cool. Yeah, there's a few little things, but overall, I think it's pretty decent, man. It's readable, solid. You got a little bit of some texture going on in the skull. Yeah, I think this backdrop is good enough. It really shows her face being really, really close to that skull. So I don't know, maybe you could drag that shadowing out just gently a little bit more. I'm not sure. It depends on the reference and how you did it all, but overall, I thought it was pretty cool. I see how the eye down here is supposed to expand out and kind of draw in the face there. I guess that works. Obviously the eye's not that big, but it does help flow into the face. So super cool, man. I like it.
Nice piece. It's a nice piece, and I'm sure a person we're happy with it.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep practicing. Time. It's just a time thing. You know what I mean? Honing your skills in.
I think so. I think the eyebrows will probably be having those points on the eyelashes because they do have that like spider leg feel.
Yeah.
But hey, whoever got it, I'm sure they're happy with it. Okay, I am gonna break the rules and go back. Says I don't. Hold on, let me check this. Okay, never mind. It's right there. All right, I saw Lisa Rogers. I think that's somebody who was in the chat for the first time, and I was like, oh, if they just sent it in a little too early, I would check it out. But I see that they sent it in up here, so
cool.
Good to go. I don't have to break any of my own rules. All right, Tyler says, "Hey Dave, here is some recent work I've done." All right, let's take a look. Also, guys, if I know a lot of work's already been sent in already, but if you're thinking of sending your work in now, do us a favor. Only send in like 2 to 3 pieces tops. Don't send in 7, 8, 9 because it just slows us down.
Slows us down.
3 gives us a gist of what you're doing, and we can, move along.
And it's like you say, it's also taken away from another person,
right?
That we might get to. I mean, even if they have sent, to be honest, Dave, if they have sent 6, 7, and 8, the best thing to do is just pick 3 random ones out of it.
Yeah, Maybe if we can look across the little thumbnails, find like the top.
Yeah, and just see whether we can get through a few more people for them.
Right. Yep, I think you're right. Elisa, right?
Alyssa.
No, she said it's not Alyssa. Elise. You've not been here long enough to know that if I get anywhere close to your name, you're just gonna have to be like, All right, because I tattoo. I don't English. All right. So fake skin. This looks like it's a slab of the brand Real Skin, which is a pretty good product. And just taking a look at the line work on this, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, they were smart enough to use a liner that, or even a round shader that is going to give them a nice, decent line. I mean, there's the little things, and I'm only pointing it out because I like these lines up here at the top. You know, if you could just go back and just make that a little. I know we're really nitpicking, right? But it looks good, you know. So why not do that? So again, I think the line looks good. I like the stipple shading. I like that you got a little bit of depth in the eye, a little depth in the nose. I mean, could you have done a lot more with this? Of course. But for a kind of like a simplistic, kind of whip shaded sort of skull, it's not bad. I would like to see a little bit more what would you call it? Texture, details, you know, what's the word I'm looking for exactly there? Uh because that's the beauty of messing with skulls. I mean, you don't always get to do it depending on the style, but if you can add those dents, those cracks, those all those little, if I can stop burping, fun things that you can really, really go and have a good time, like you did down here in the chin and up here. But what do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, what I like with this is looking at this piece of fake skin. It looks like this person's keeping it fairly small. They're working real within the real bounds. I mean, let's be right. That long straight line that splits that skull in half is a nice line. It is a nice line, and the lines are looking all upon crisp and everything. But I'm with you. This skull could have been taken to the next level with a little bit more creativity, as into depth, shading, what you could have done with it, whether you wanted to take it. But there's nothing wrong with what they've done, but whether they wanted to take it to the next level, and like you say, add took more tones into the fact. But other than that, it's a banger of a little piece. It's clean.
Yeah,
it does it, and it reads well. It's not overcrowded. You can see in the eyes that they have got that super dark with a little bit, and they've left a little bit more, even though they're using black, left a little bit more open. So I think it's not bad.
Yeah, I agree. And he sent another piece. So, okay. Consistent in the style at which this Tyler is consistent in the way you're tattooing, man. And I like that. Again, it's fun to look at pieces and you're like, I don't tattoo like that. I probably wouldn't, but it looks cool. And I know there's people out there that like this sort of thing because there's people out there that like everything. As long as the execution and technique is good, in my opinion, do whatever you want. I think it's pretty good, especially for some fake skin, you know. Most of these, you know, you might want to work on a little bit more, take your time a little bit more on some of the lines, you know, and really make sure you get them consistent. But for the most part, it's not bad. Again, work on these lines in the hair. Every line you do, since you're on practice skin, you have time. Take your time, you know, really each line best you can, because when you go to human skin, it's going to be even more important. So you might as well get in the swing of things while you can. I think the face is pretty good. Just, you know, maybe slow it down a little bit. Slow it down. But yeah, I like it, Andy. I like that they have some solid black, some darker shading.
Yeah,
It's not bad. The lining's okay.
One thing I am going to say is,
for sure.
yeah, and one thing I am going to say, the fingers on the hands don't look bad at all.
Yeah.
And we've seen some proper pork sausages for fingers. Let's be right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not horrendous.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? If all the hand on the left hand side, the back of the hand where it comes down, it comes straight. Where usually, if you look at your hand, it has a little bit of a curve.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, just needed to pay attention to a few more of the lines. The lines on this one are of the same caliber as the skull. It looks like they've been going round and missed them, picked them back up. Some of them are saturated. But yeah, these are all little things. But as we've said before, all these little things then add up, and you start looking around all over. But like I say, yeah, it's not about stars. they're not too bad stars. They're all pretty uniform. A couple of places where they just don't join, or they're not quite saturated as well. I'm not a fan of how they've done the hair, just running them black lines through it.
Yeah, and the
Would have been
lines
nice
in
if
the hair
they're going to
probably are
use, if they're going to do that, maybe to use side of a mag instead of a liner. But we've all made that mistake in his career. We used a liner in, and then later date we could have really done it with the side of a mag just to give it that softer hair tone. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad. Just need to pay, just slow it down a little bit and just pay a bit more attention to your lines, and then work on your shading and doing smooth shading and transitions between shading and that, and keep working at it. But
yeah,
they're not working at really big pieces. Look of it, they're keeping it real and keeping it on a smaller piece.
yeah. I think that's a good thing, and you're on practice skin, so again, important to really do everything you can while you're on that practice skin to, make everything look as good as you can, because it's not going to get any better on human skin.
Jeremy, I hope your eyelashes are decent.
Jeremy,
I hope your eyelashes are decent. Otherwise, I'm going to come straight in on them.
All right. So, if you're new here and you're wondering why we talk about eyelashes, it's because of Jeremy. Because we're always giving Jeremy a hard time about the eyelashes, but we'll see how it's going. It's been a little while, Jeremy. So, hey everybody, I'm working on this Lucy today. Hopefully, I'll finish today and can send it in next week. Just want to send in my progress for the day. Thanks. Aha. See, this is his workaround, Andy. So if you say something about them eyelashes, like, Andy, I'm not done, man. Saving the eyelashes for last,
No, I don't accept it.
You know what? I like the lips going on in here. I like this neck. There's a little bit of shadow. The rim light you got coming on at the bottom of the chin down there. Your soft shading's come a long way, Jeremy. We're seeing a bit more of it, even on the sides here and whatnot. This lining over top of the eyes got me a little bit scared. Not really sure what we're gonna be doing up there, man.
I'm going to hit it. You could say it before, but if you want, but
I'm not understanding your eyelashes, Jeremy. I'm not understanding them, man. I know you got this. And then I would just work on the eye shape as well. The tricky part here is that, one seems very sort of round. The other one's a bit on the football-ish-esque side. I know you've just been working on it today. But I do like the lips. I like the chin. I like the side of the face. I don't even mind the eyebrows. I wish they had just a little bit more, like, give them a shade, but then add a few marks in there for eyebrow dimension or shape or whatnot. The hair is obviously not even commentable because it has a long way to go, so I'll leave you alone there. But one more thing, Andy, the nose, I don't mind this too much here. I like the shadowing you have on the nose, but the black portions of the nose feel a little strong. I don't know. I guess when you zoom back a little bit, they're not too bad. I just know you got it in you there, Jeremy. So I'm gonna push you a little harder here as we move forward, okay? Because I know you got it, man. You just gotta really take your time and slow it down. I feel like maybe you're using a mag when you should be using a liner at times, and vice versa. All right, that's all I got, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Jeremy, I mean, we know with the shading, it's come a long way with the shading, because if you remember, when we first started getting his pieces, we were on him that his shading was absolute minimal. If you remember, in his earlier pieces, it was just a token gesture on cheeks and the chin. So it's come a long way with that. Lips, like hair, we can't really comment on. It's not finished. I mean, it's hard to comment on this piece because it's not finished.
Right.
I am going to bust his chops over getting a finer. And I say it all the time, you've got to take some artistic license with your pieces. And especially around these eyes, and that a finer liner, side of a mag, to get these in. And I know he's working on fake skin, and you could use a one drop really and just keep working and working and working at it until you get the depth of the tone that you want.
Yeah.
But if you was working on human skin, you're going to want a bit in, out, dusted, with a few passes or whatever. Otherwise, you're going to chew the person up. So, yes, I know you're going to finish it off, but if you're going to put them in there, put them in there. Use the right needle to start with. Your needle choice is just as important as your shade choice. I agree with you as well on the nostrils, on the nose, as it stands at the minute. When you get in, if you just pull away from it a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, sorry. Somebody's messaging me about tattoos. I'm like,
if you just pull away from it a little bit.
Yeah. Is that okay there?
It's got the nostrils. The nostrils look quite supersized.
Right.
And they look way too big at the minute for the nose, whether you can soften them out with some shading around it, and so on and so forth. To be fair, what I'd do is I'd complete this piece, Jeremy, and resubmit it next week.
Heck yeah.
For us to critique on, and I know you've been working on it, and you probably wanted to get it in, and let's see where you've got to at this point.
Right.
But if we had a little bit more, and a little bit more complete, we could actually give you a better critique, and we know that you're capable of it. I just don't want to smash down on this piece when we've seen fully completed pieces that are half decent.
Agreed. Keep at Jeremy, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you are going down the right road, man. Just takes time. I believe this is Jason, disguised as Mary. So Jason, is that you, man? Or your wife started tattooing? I'm pretty sure it'd be Jason using his wife's account. Hey, let's take a look. Man, you know what? Ooh, that color is punched in nice.
But that is absolutely bulletproof in there.
Yeah, that color is solid, especially when considering you're using yellows and oranges, and the lining looks pretty solid and consistent. Yeah.
Is it
a couple little spots, and it looks like you used maybe a couple different line weights because we got a smaller line weight on the inside and the outside. What's up, Andy?
No, he has it. Look, is it? I might have got this wrong. I may have got this wrong. Is it Jason that's on this account?
Yeah, I think it's Jason. I
can't remember if it were Jason that he'd done some work either on himself or whatever, and it were quite rough. Or I might be getting mixed up here with somebody else. But obviously, let's be right. I mean, this is quite a bulletproof sticker tattoo. Is this?
Yeah, big improvement too from the last. Maybe I think last time we sent them in, I think they were getting better.
Yes,
I can't remember. It's hard to keep track of everybody, but I definitely think this is a big improvement if I think back.
Hats off to him. If that's a yes to the comment that I've just said, Jason, where you worked on yourself and we give you a bit of an hard time for working on yourself. I don't know whether it were in your arms or your legs, and we give you an hard time and we said lay off. This, honestly, from what we saw, this is a 200% improvement by far, if I am remembering. Because these lines are in, because it was quite scratchy before and a bit all over the place. And we said to him, dial it back, come on to fake skin, work on smaller stuff, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
And this Tweety Pie, good use of line weights, couple of different line weights. That colour is packed in without being chewed up. And they're lighter colours, and people have a tendency to chew lighter colours up.
Oh, absolutely. You can't hide light colours put in the skin. You know, even no matter what kind of monkey around on a phone and camera and stuff, you can't hide it. It looks good. That looks solid. I mean, the only thing I see is maybe this blue. You might have had a bit of a hard time in that one eye, but once it heals out, I think you're going to be okay. That blue, the black should overpower the blue, and you'll be okay. Yeah.
The white's nice at the side of it, but I'm looking at the feet. That's quite a bright orange. It's a vivid orange.
It is.
And that colour is packed. If you were going to see any holidays, you'd have seen it in there. This person has taken his time, has packed this colour, has gone up to lines, is remembered from his colouring days in his colouring books. Colour up to lines, you've got lines, stay inside lines, colour up to lines. He's done it. And he's worked hard from what originally this person's worked hard and he's got himself to this point in a relatively short space of time from where he was.
Yeah, I think sometimes people just need to know, like, hey, that's not right. Try doing this, and then they take their own time and they
Yeah,
go and pursue that material or that information, or take that time to practice. And then I guess it's nice to see some. It really is makes all this sort of like us coming here every Sunday and hanging out rewarding when you see people, progressing along, and doing it right, in my opinion. I mean, there's levels of right. You ask somebody would say everything we do here on this channel is completely wrong, but at least there's a level of right.
yeah.
We're not all in
Good work.
apprenticeships and what have you,
Nice,
but you're
nice
doing the
work,
best
nice
you can.
improvement.
Definitely.
Definitely.
GLZ, working on outer leg half sleeve. Only background is left for one more session. All right, well, let's take a look there, my friend. Aha, okay. All right. We're gonna take a look at both of them, Andy, and then we'll kind of
Let's take a look.
comment on it. Okay, this was just that. All right.
So if we go back to, so we've seen that. If we go back to one where we can see the two.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, this eagle, the eagle head looks better than
Whatever
the
this
top.
is. Yeah.
This, I
King,
don't know.
I don't
King,
know.
Wise Man, whatever.
We can call him that for the sake of it.
Yeah. That looks unfinished to me. With the beard, could have had so much more done to it. It looks finished. The crown, the shades within the crown for the shading to give it the depth, could have done with a bit more, black in it to give it some curvature.
Right.
But the eyes are throwing it well off because we've got them. He's gone in with a liner and got them super dark black lines, but then gone in with a pale grey. And they just stand out. I mean, it's just like having a big bright orange flashing light outside of your leg saying, look at me, with them eyes. Them lines won't softening off.
No. I agree, Andy. The eyes pull you in. The eagle is definitely better than the we'll call it the king face or what have you. It is tricky because you wouldn't put this down on the foot, so the curls. I mean, if I were designing this, I would try to stay away from doing that because then you get that sort of like deformed look on the beak. Obviously, that's placement issue. I do like a lot of the softer shading, the shading you have in the beak and whatnot. It works. That's a little bit of backdrop here. You could, now that you have this all kind of feathered and lined and all that, you can come back in here with a mag and really lay in some shades, lay in some darker spots, because I feel like you have a lot of little details and feather things going on here, but you could add a little bit more depth to the piece as a whole. Just again, my opinions. Up here, Andy already hit it, so I'm not going to talk about it. The eyes has thrown it off, but this absolutely needs a lot more black pushed into it. You can come through on this beard like you do right here on the front. This has depth just because that little bit of black right there. It makes me think that curls in and there's depth in there. So come back through here and add that throughout here a little bit here and there. Think about where your light's coming from and whatnot. So I understand this being the lighter side, but there's still going to be some dark spots where the light's not quite getting to. And if the light is coming from that side, then embrace the darkness on this side and give it the black that it needs to carry all these light tones, and then maybe find a mid tone to carry in there along with these sort of lighter tones. Same thing with the hat at the top or the crown. And I mean, the lines are a bit wonky. I know when you're trying to do like realistic stuff, you can get away with that sometimes. But if that's the case, thicken that darkened area up, really come through with the mag and shade and thicken that up or what have you. I see that we're trying to get some sort of depth in here, but it just requires black. Even now, I'll take a photo of my work towards the end, and what's the one thing I'm always telling myself? It needs more black. It usually does. Even if I'm working in really dark tones, when I'm done, I take a look. It needs more black, So try that out. And obviously, this is the same piece, Andy. So I guess we'd be beating a dead horse, huh?
It's like I say, you could go back into that and just take what we've said and turn it out into a decent piece. But it just needs some more. It does need some more work and a little bit of tidying up.
Yeah, a bit smoother in the shading as well. At least they're moving in a directional shading. Um, but that takes a bit of time to get that smooth shading, to figure out how to consistently do that and whatnot. But I think you're definitely going down. What they're doing isn't wrong. You're heading down the right road. Glees, GLZ, and we appreciate you always sending stuff in for us to take a look at. All right, let's see. I like your comment, Andy. Let's see.
Yeah.
I try to get
58
over there.
watching and 25 likes. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Petar G says, hey man, here's some of my work. One healed, one fresh. All right. We'll start with the fresh one. Aha. Yeah. Okay. I like, I think that background kind of looks opaque, eh? Or
I don't know whether it's just
modified.
black feathered out.
Is that black color? Uh-huh. I don't know. It definitely looks like, I don't know. It looks odd. Almost.
I don't know. I
So,
think it's. I don't know whether it's black just feathered out, and then maybe just a 3/4 black over the top. Um,
hmm.
But I mean, it's readable. I'm assuming that this is going to have something probably underneath it. It's
That
going to be part
could
of a.
be. But I do like this. I like the flowiness they have in the beard. It's super readable. They do have some lines in here, but where they're at, they seem to be good and they seem to be useful around the nose and what have you. This would be one of those I would do, and I take a photo. I'm like, doggone, I felt like I had a lot of darks in there, but dang it, I didn't put enough black in some spots. Unless this again is black, but definitely looks like a gray to me. So if I were to take a photo of this towards the end and then kind of look at it and diagnose it, I'd be like, all right, I need to go back into a lot of these places and punch some solid black just into all those little crevices and whatnot. And yeah, but if you come up here and look at this eye up here, I can't zoom in anymore. It really stinks. I don't know why. Some photos won't let me zoom in. But they got a lot of detail around in the bags under the eyes, kind of thing. That's pretty nice.
Tell you what would have been nice. You know that lightning and everything that's coming out. It's supposed to be like lightning and everything that's
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah,
If that had been in some blues, some blue color coming out of it.
yeah,
You know, in that lightning area through his eyes. And now blues, to be honest, you could have done blue, you could have done red, you could have done green, any colour you wanted, but it'd be nice to just have a colour coming out, you know, of them eyes just to make it pop.
yeah.
But
Adding a
yeah, I
little
mean,
color in there. That'd be the adding color to a tattoo. That would be the place
yeah,
to do it if you were going to do it on here. But
but I think
overall, it's a nice tattoo.
yeah, there's a few areas you could do with some black, but you can see in a few areas where it's got the black lines in, and they
Yeah,
stand out further than the rest.
right.
Whereas,
Which is
like I
why
say again, they've probably been put in with a liner or a round shader. Whereas if you use the mag on its edge and slightly cockled, slightly twisted, it'd just give you that softer flow through the hair rather than this rigid line.
right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just hard to understand that some of those spots. Oh, remember this piece, Andy?
Well, yeah, I think we've seen this at work.
Yeah, we've seen the bottom, but he added to the top, and it has been healed up. Well, I wish they wouldn't have left this wide open right here. I'll tell you that much right now. Just looking at it, I get it. It's the walkway in, but they shaded up, and I think they did it a service compared to by adding to it, because it felt like these gates were just kind of dangling there, and they still kind of are.
Yeah,
They could add either attach it to that tree or something, or give it a post. That would help. But whatever, it's a tattoo, so we can just tattoos aren't real, so they can just be whatever. So that's cool. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's got this sort of again that cartoon-esque feel. I really like the black blend they have. This blend up here from this dark down to light. That's a smooth gradation there. They're definitely using some version of, I guess some people call it a whitewash. I call it like black with some white in it. I mean, it could be opaque, but I don't really look opaque. And I like it. I like that. I like that blend you got going on there. Most of these lines look okay. I don't know that I'm the biggest fan of this moon up here per se, and how that all was going down this little cloud, but it works. No, I think it looks better now than it did. It looks a little bit more
Yeah,
cohesive than this just floating down here at the bottom. But I think they definitely got to do something here. Even just a little shading, maybe put a little walkway, something there. Oh, there you
yeah,
go. Smoke just said it. Cobblestone would have made that walkway look better. There you go. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, and
yeah.
then
Like I
Danik said
said,
he liked
so
the over exaggeration of the houses. Yeah.
yeah, the house has made a nice add-on, to the piece.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's got quite a cartoony-esque Adams Family type of house feel to it. I'm pretty much with you, the walkway just a bit too straight up uniform, unghostly like. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can always add to that.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it finishes the piece off a lot better and it makes it fit the leg a lot better. I still stand
Yeah.
by what I said, that it'd be nice to see them gates attached to something.
Yeah, that's right.
A gate post or something instead of just floating. But hey, I'm not the designer. I'm not wearing it. But other than that, like I say, it's yeah, looks like Castle from Scooby Doo. You're right there, Smoke. But no, I'm digging it. It's not bad. I'm sure
Yeah.
this person that's wearing it is happy with it. And that I think the add-on, the house add-on, is the actual quality of the work lines and everything, and that is probably a little bit better than some of the areas and some of the shading in the lower piece.
Right. Definitely an improvement. Yeah.
For light breathability and everything. But like I say, I don't think it's too bad. It's not too shabby.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Peter. Appreciate it, man. I was glad to see the work improve. Definitely. Now that we know, we can remember your old piece by seeing the gated and the bird down there. It's like, oh yeah, all right, yeah. Elisa, glad you were able to make it here. Okay, and you definitely sent us a bunch. That's okay. We're gonna have to find a few here to take a look at. Or let's see, Elisa Rogers. This is your first time here, so maybe we'll skim through yours quickly and just whatnot. So, hey, Dave and Andy, my name's Elise A, or I'm trying to pronounce it the way you told me to in the chat over there. But all right, love the show. Learned everything from watching you. I've been tattooing for about 2 years, mainly on myself and some family. Always had a background in art. Would like to know where you think I'm at in my journey. I know my lining still needs some work, and the dragon on my leg needs some color touch-ups. The light blue is extremely hard to get into my skin. True. Tried twice, then gave up. Good. The snake is on my shin and been working on finishing it. Thanks for any advice. Yeah, those blues, if it's not working out for you,
No.
it's an application issue most of the time. So it's best you just stop before you chew yourself up.
What I'm going to say, before we open any of them up,
yeah.
Got a background in art. I don't know what your background in art is. So you've got a background in art. So the actual, in my eyes then, the artistic point of it should be on point, along with the reference to lights, darks, shades, tones, colours, colour theory, and everything. So that should be near enough on point.
Yeah.
So we'll look at that, and then obviously we'll look at the tattooing side of it as well, Dave.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Tattooing is a skill that you learn, and the whatever you come into tattooing with is what you'll eventually be able to show. So you want to, don't put the horse before the carriage, whatever. Okay. Well, this photo's a bit hard to read, but hey, we'll take a look at it. From what I can see, Andy, this dragon here down at the bottom looks all right. You can kind of look at some of these points and maybe wish they were a little pointier, but it is the hand, the knuckles, and whatnot. I can't tell if it's raised up. It's really hard to just tell, if someone was just looking at a photo to look at it and say, hey, that's cool, it'd be perfect, but we're trying to help you out, so it's a bit hard to read there. But we can move up, right? And I kind of think this is kind of cool. I've seen clouds done so much, so I guess they've added a little bit of spice to it by adding little dragon things, I guess you could say. In this photo, Andy, it feels very layered, which is kind of cool in my opinion. I know it's nothing super complex here, but where it's left open, it's very open. And some of these, that shading going up seems pretty smooth in my opinion. Again, we got the glare on there and whatnot. Not my, like, from a style perspective, not really my thing, but from a tattoo wise, I think it looks fine. What do you think, Andy?
Well, yeah, I've seen this cloud style done before. This is, and I've even done it. Let's be right. I've
You've
even
done
done
this
this cloud
with
style
the
before,
like
but
that? Oh,
it's an easy cloud style. It's no, just the actual shape. You know, where you just draw the
oh,
half moons over,
yeah.
then
You shade
shade up
behind
off
it,
them.
leave the
It's a
front open.
common, cloud. Yeah, and this, that, and other. Like you said, the shading looks to transition from dark through to the lighter tones. Okay. Um, where I have a couple of problems with this is with the little dragons. And I don't know whether it's the photo, just that some of them look a little bit illegible for the simple reason is I can understand where they've gone into the lighter tones in the clouds that they've used solid black, for the dragon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Makes it stand out. But then where the dragon goes into the clouds, they've used black up against black. And with something like this, you may have been better offsetting your shades a little bit just to give it that bit more prominence, or just leaving that tiny little bit of a break in my eyes
Yeah.
between it, because there's a couple of them. The one on the hand, if we scroll down to hand, that's done on my hand. On the hand, I'm not a fan of this. It's, in my eyes, it's not. I know it's on the hand, but the body of the dragon going through the center of the dragon, and that is not improper. Doesn't look like it's improperly. It's like it's got holidays in it. Some of the shape and the pointiness and the crispness of the body and the shape is missing within that. But hey, that could have been in. It's on the hand. It could have healed out. And that's what I'll say so far about this one. But
Gotcha. Let's take a look at the next one. Let's zoom along here. All righty. I do see what you're talking about with that blue and whatnot, and I'm glad you stopped while you were ahead, because you can kind of see where you were chewing yourself up through here. So definitely stop. I'm glad to hear that. Some of these greens and these pinks seem to be going in, but you're definitely getting a bit too aggressive. I wonder, is this
is
like
that
in the healing stage or
is this
something?
in the healing stage? Because it looks flaky more than chewed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to see up here in these other colors. Like, if you chew it up, it's not going to flake off like that. At least I've never seen that happen. So I would imagine maybe it's healing. Hopefully they let us know. Alisa, could you let me know if this is healing or in this photo, or if this is fresh? Or, it probably is, because she did say she went back in and tried to add more blue.
Yeah,
so
well,
it might be like healing or whatnot.
I mean, what I will say on this is there's some bad color choices that are helping the design. E.g., that put on dragon, where you've got that purple stripe that comes round into pink. They'd have been better off with a better color separation between them two colors. E.g., a darker purple on the outside, but a darker pink on inside, a richer pink. And instead of having that sharp ass line going round it, fade it in. And right, it's healed. I started with a curl machine. Now, Alyssa, if I've spelled your name, if I pronounce your name wrong, I do apologise. If it's Elisa or whatever, curl machine. Couple of things with, in fact, a fair few things with a curl machine. One, was you using a lining curl machine? Was you using a shading curl machine? Was you using a packing curl machine? There's the big differences. Two, has it been tuned right? Has it been set up right? Do you understand what I mean? Because if not, and you can't do all that, and you can't do all that, and you've got a curl machine, you can forget it, because no matter what you try to do, you ain't going to pack it in. You ain't going to get the colours or the lines in. But going back to this, like them greens should have been a darker green, and we've always said, if you're going to colour stuff in, and I've always said, use at least three colours. Try to use at least three colours, with at least 1 or 2 stages of separation between each colour. Otherwise, you get too close, because this is coming across very, very pastely.
Yeah.
It's coming across. Using a tattoo pen now, that's fine. We don't know what tattoo pen you're using. We don't know what stroke you're using. Is it a direct drive? Is it a swash drive? There's all them things to take into a factor as well, which is quite funny. That we were talking the other night, just chatting other night, and we were on about this direct drive, swash drives,
right,
stroke lengths, and the gimmick that people are getting into of, and I did it, and I bought one, adjustable stroke lengths. Yeah, it's going to be all and end all. It's going to make great tattoos. Basically, bullshit. You can do just as good with a good 3.5 or a 4mm or whatever direct drive machine, and do the rest with your hand speed, protrusion of your needle, how fast you're moving over skin, depth, technique, everything. And it's same with the blues. You're going to struggle with these blues because they're super pale. They are super pale.
Yeah.
With these, I just think this is suffering, and she's struggled due to poor colour choice.
Yeah, you got to be slow and deliberate with packing these light tones, and if you're not confident with packing color and your technique, then you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna go over and over, and it's just gonna not be a fun day.
Yeah, and again, needle choices, cartridges, needle choices. What cartridges are you using? Are there standards? Are there bug pins?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Are you using a triangulist with a round shader? Are you trying to do it with curved mags? Are you trying to do it with flat mags? Because I've had so many people come from here and ask me via Instagram, what needles am I using? What this am I using? And the amount of people I've said to them, I only use standard round liners. I've got some standard round shaders, and everything, colour, black and grey, and everything is in bug pin mags. I only use 3 sizes mags: a 7, a 15, and a 25.
Yeah.
And what I will say to most people, do not waste your time trying to learn flat mags, because you can do everything else with a curved mag. Forget about flat mags. They're just a waste of time and effort, in my eyes.
In my opinion as well. I do know some people who love them, because you can turn them on their side and do all that jazz. That's true, but just grab a liner, a round shade, or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You're going to get much smoother shades and all that jazz using a curved mag. Also, somebody said that their favorite cartridges are the police cartridges. Well, I have a new favorite.
You're going to fess up, Dave, at this point. Are you going to fess up at this point?
Andy put me on. Andy's been telling me, Dave, you gotta try the Mass Pros. You gotta try the Mass Pros. I'm like, I know, but I'm trying out these other needles, and then I want to try out the Amela needles, and then I want to try out these, and I finally tried the Mass Pros after about 6 months after Andy's been telling me to try them out. But I had a list of needles I've gone through and working on trying out and bringing to you guys, giving you my opinion and thoughts. Well, I have to say the Mass Pros are definitely, for the money, my favorite. I mean, I definitely think they're better than the CNC police cartridges because they cost the same, or actually $1 less a box, and in my opinion are sharper. I think they would fall just underneath, Quadrant and Amela up there. I don't think they're quite as good, but they're also half the price. So with that being said, I will definitely be putting together a video just to put my thoughts together for you guys about them. I will definitely be using them moving forward, because I was using as I'm getting off on a tangent here, but the police cartridges were like my quantity. I had a lot of them because they were more affordable, so I used them for all the extra stuff, and then I'd have a few boxes of very specific needles in the Amela, because I really like their mags and whatnot, especially their larger mags and what have you. But now that I've tried these, I don't think I'm really gonna monkey around with anything really much higher end, because for the money, these are solid needles. Unless they change their formula or something on us.
Like I say, just a quick one, Stevie.
Yeah.
You're on here. Are they Dragonaut carts? Well, they're actually Mass Pro. They're called Mass Pro. Hit me up. Message if you want to know more. Message me through my Instagram, Stevie, or message me. Oh no, you've got my messenger thing. Send me a message, Stevie. I'll show you where I've got mine from, where I've got link for and everything, you know, that I get the carts from. It's not a problem. But like I was speaking to you, Dave, I've been through what, 2,400 of these cartridges now, and literally out of all that, I've only had 10 fail. Out of 2,400 cartridges, I've probably only had 10 cartridges that haven't failed. I've just not liked them. They've either been a little bit too noisy, or I thought they've rattled a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get that. I actually had one just today, actually, but it's going to sound dumb, but it had a different sound, but everything was running perfectly fine, minus the sound. And I get those from every brand of needle.
Yes. And I also find that
these are what they look like. I know I'm in the small screen, but if I go to the big screen, it'll be all blurry and glitchy anyhow. And they come the same way. They look, like I said, they look just like the Amelas and Quadrants, as far as they went with the same, because there's only a few companies that make needles, guys, and they just brand them. So they went with the same kind of look that Amela and Quadrant went with, as far as I'm aware. And I don't know, maybe they've got some other specs that are pretty much the same, because the sharp, they're quite sharp and they feel quite nice. And again, for the money, I think you can get a box. These are like $16 a box, 16, 17 bucks. And that's not bad. If you were to buy a box of 15 curved mags from Quadrant, they would be $40, where here they're, I think, $17 or $18.
Yeah, well, it's like I say, it's like Stavis is using Quadrant. I get them, I ship them straight from a tattoo supplies company. It's a Dragonaut. It is a Dragonaut store from China, straight to here. And I do them in large quantities, you know that. Some people on here. But Stevie, I mean, I'm blast, depending on, and I was on about this to you, depending on how you pay for them and your conversion rate when it comes through to your bank. The last ones I bought worked out on average, Stevie, for £12.83 for a box of 20. And that's what it worked out as average through the 20 odd boxes that I bought, or 28 boxes that I bought, when he averaged it across them all. The sizes that they do every single size, from standards, 10s, double zeros, long tapers, curve mags, round shaders, everything.
Yeah, they really do have them all.
They've got them all. It's not as if you've got to do and mend. They do have a full range.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I think me and Andy, remember we were talking, I was like, I went and checked to make sure they had some long tapers as well and whatnot. You got to look around, see what's available and what have you, but it appeared that they have all that sort of stuff there. Now, if you're using the Quadrants and you love them, because I do believe they're a really good needle, they're just a little pricey for my everyday use.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking, always trying to find something else, just take some time to try something out for a little while and go, hey, this is pretty good for the money. This is really good, but it costs a lot. So if that's something you want to do, this is really good, but it's kind of like this one, but it also costs a decent amount. But these ones, I would say, tattoo very nicely, very sharp, very consistent, and they come in cheaper than the police cartridges, which is kind of like, wow, okay. So if you're using the Quadrants, buy a box, just buy a box or two, test them out, see how they compare since you're already using them, and then let me know, because I haven't been using Quadrants every day, so I don't know, but I have used Amela quite often, and I would say they're a very good brand. So yeah, curious to know what you guys think.
Yeah, it's like I say, yeah, no problem, Stevie. Send me a message. But like I say, I mean, you'll appreciate this. I mean, a lot of these people, a lot of lads and lasses on here that are learning to tattoo. But you yourself, Dave, I mean, how often you're in a studio, 2, 3, I mean, the amount of clients you go through a week and that, and then you can have, I generally have between 3 and 6 needles out.
Easily.
You know what I mean? Per tattoo.
Yeah.
So this is the other thing. So you soon burn through them. You soon burn through.
I use 6 needles just on the black and gray, and then bust out 2 new needles for the white. You know, a lot of times. So
yeah,
and you don't need that many needles, but sometimes I want that 5-round liner, the 5-round shader, the 7 curve mag, 14 curve mag. Then I think, oh crap, I better bust out that 25 curve mag, and oh crap, maybe I want that like 3 bug pins for that. So by the time you're done, you got like 6, 7 needles out. You're like crap. So yeah, it does add up. Does add up. All right, we got to boogie through her stuff, man.
Go on.
All right. Oh, okay.
This is weird.
The Leafs are pretty decent, I will say. I like that, that sort of simplistic, dark shading. But the rest, there's not really much going on here. These lines are all pretty wonk. I mean, they could be worse, no doubt. They're just not really in there properly. And maybe they have big plans to come back and work it. So I'd like to see this finished. I see some stuff going on here in the face. Maybe they just want to get the stencil in there for now and then carry on later. But we'll have to kind of wait and see on that one, Andy. I'm going to throw.
Yeah.
You ready for the next one, Andy?
I was just going to say.
Go on. No, I gave you a bone. I gave you a little one. Dang it.
Like I said, this one. I mean, little paws, quite simple. They've gone to a little bit of detail in them between black, medium tone, and a lighter tone. The cat, the outline of the cat with the ears. The outline work on this isn't very good, I'll be honest.
Sure.
You can see that there's, like I say, especially down the left-hand side, it looks like they've gone down, and then when they've gone to hit the line again, as they've come down, they either haven't gone in at the same depth or whatever. It's just a bit fatter halfway down it, then thins out near the bottom. Across the bottom of it, looks a little bit
double-banged a few times.
Yeah, it looks a bit scratchy. And that's so the line work's not good. The little paw prints, not too bad. The line work definitely needs some work.
Well, I will say, Elisa, you seem to be, your shading seems pretty decent. Like you're figuring that out, and that is good because a lot of times that can be a struggle. It seems everybody struggles in different ways, but you seem to be getting that, and that'll improve over time. But I would definitely take the time, just looking at the first few pieces here, and hone in on the lining because it's definitely going to be one of those things you're going to need. We can kind of, this picture's a bit blurry. We can kind of see it here, where the lines are. They're a bit in and out, a bit inconsistent, and you're going to want to be able to bang out some cool tattoos like this. You're going to want, we're going to want stuff like this. You're going to want to have that confidence in your back pocket. I can pull these lines, whatnot. So take the time and really hone in on the lining if I had to pick something, because your shading's not bad, and I think it's progressing, especially when we look at those leaves and we look at these little paw prints here. It's like, okay, I think you get what's going on here. So yeah, I would definitely say that. Here, I'll give you this one, Andy. We're burning through these kind of quick, Andy. So
burning through this again. I mean, can you zoom in a little bit? Let's have a look at my work. You can see the hesitance. You can see the reworks on the lines, and this is where, if I say your name wrong again, I'm sorry, Elisa or whatever it is. You can see it on the line work. The hesitance, the jerkiness, whether you're just not flowing your hand or you're not getting a good enough stretch. Really stretch that skin out and get in and go around, and you can see, and unfortunately script will show it up all day long. But then again, what I'm saying is nobody's perfect at line work,
right?
You know what I mean? So
this is a good sized piece, so you have a little bit of
more room in my line work. To say pick a right size liner, a 9 or an 11 would have done this, gone round it to a point then that if it were looking a bit iffy, you could have gone in with a 3 and sculpted some of them edges off. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Just to get it a bit more crisp.
Cool. Well, let's take on the next one. All right. Again, we got some different shades going on here, different levels of shading, but where we have lines, where we have.
Now, can I?
Go ahead.
So you got John's jumped in. He says, "Try and hold your breath while lining. It will help you avoid shaking." Now, see, I disagree with that.
You agree?
I disagree with that.
I do too. I
breathe.
Did that for a while.
Learn to breathe. Learn to breathe through your lines normally. Then you will be relaxed and be in your normal state.
Yeah.
The other thing we've covered, if you're finding that you are struggling with shaky lines and you are breathing through it, try adjusting your grip, try fattening your grip up. That helps to steady lines. Because if I have a normal grip or I don't have any grip on it, it looks like I've got Parkinson's disease. You know what I mean? It just don't work. It just doesn't work.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, good point though. Definitely breathe. I did that not breathing thing, especially in the beginning there for a while, and yeah, after a while, you find that you're just gonna have to just learn to breathe through it. Learn now because you don't want to go back
Yeah.
and learn it. And yeah, if you just look at this piece, this isn't too bad. But anywhere where they're like really putting in a line or trying to do something like that, it feels a bit bumpy and a bit rough. So again, I think maybe lining might be an issue, getting consistent lines. But other than that, I like the different degrees of shading, so it kind of really feels like it's flowy. Smoke's a tricky thing to do, and I think you get a little bit of that going on here. Don't really know what's going on up here, kind of a bit open. Again, this might be another piece that's just not quite finished or what have you, but for the sake of things, we're going to move to the next one. Bam. All right, Andy, I think this is the last one, and I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick.
No problem. Well, I'm not a fan. Simple reason. It's on back at hand. Back at hand. I mean, I've got one on, and the door hold up really well. There's some stuff on back at hand, but this should have been bulletproof. The line weight is wrong. The line weight, especially around the outside and around the outside of the leaves, should have been a lot heavier for the hand. A lot heavier, a lot darker. Again, then with the leaves, like I said, and I banged on 3 colours, minimum 3 colours. So on them leaves, dark green, a light green, golden yellow, or an even lighter green, no problem. In that rose, you could have popped a bit of black in with a dark red into a lighter red, or a dark red into a light red into a pink, which would have brought that out. There's just, for what it is on the hand, there's just not enough black. The line work is not heavy enough, and there's not enough depth on it. But then again, taking that away from it, looking at the colour in the leaves looks to be in, and looks to be, in properly. What you've done in the rose, the lines look a little bit light in areas, but that could be just the lighting. But where you do really fall is with the colouring. And you said you've come, and this is what I was saying before we started, you said you've got an art background. So if you would have drawn this on paper and you come from an art background, you would have just used the colours that you've used on the skin. You would have used more. And if I'd have drawn this with coloured pencils or whatever, I'd have probably been using 10, 15 different, shades, colours and everything, to draw this. So this is why we say in the skin, use at least three colours with 1 or 2 steps of separation between it to get your depth and your contrast. Because even though you've got some contrast in the rose, as it heals and it ages, all that little bit of contrast will be lost. And you've relied on your heavy white, you've relied on your white on the ends of your leaves, over the tops of your colours to try to give you a little bit of a highlight. And I just think there could have been so much more done with this, that from taking away from the heavy line that could have been put in it and a bit of black, the colour choices and the artistic part of it, there could have been so much more done with this.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Dave?
No, I'm with you, man. I was listening. I can hear even when I was going to the bathroom over there. I was like, "Yep." So everything I was looking at, I'm like, "Yeah, I think Andy got it."
It's my. Oh, go on. Let's have a look, because we'll see this one because it's going to be crap anyway.
Oh yeah, we'll just get this one out of the way.
Yeah, we'll just get this out of the way because it's going to be crap. Yeah. And this is another one that just likes to troll you with pieces and just.
Oh, you can tell from here. Freaking my gosh. Yeah. All right, let's get through it, shall we? All right. Pulled arm muscles. Oh, starting off with an excuse, Andy. Starting off with an excuse.
Yeah, painful.
So here is some older piece that I was able to pull out of the rubbish. Was able to kind of finish today. Left the background as my arm has to be in good working order next week. Took a few pics from whatever and put it back. What? Okay. All right. All right. You're all right. But question here: how to approach blurry background with lighter patches? Hi, guys. Hugs, guys. Hugs, guys. All right. All right. All BS aside.
Oh,
Um.
uh,
Oh wow.
uh,
Oh, this is cool. I
it's
like this
cool,
ear. I like this ear. I don't know why, but like, wow,
but
that's cool. I feel like I can put my finger in that ear. Not that I want to,
do
but
you know
the
something?
first thing that popped out to me is the ear, man.
Yeah.
Oh, go
Do you
ahead,
know
Andy.
something,
I'm just
Dave?
blabbering.
It's cool, but unfortunately, I'm going to say something here. That background has wrecked it.
It has
It's
mainly up
wrecked it.
here, not so much because there's not much there, but whatever's going on here, it feels like it became one with, I guess, the hair.
it
There has to be some sort of a definition between the two. Maybe a rim light around the back if you can. I've done that sometimes, even if it's not in the reference, where I have a background that's dark. Say the hair's dark. If I can, I'll put a freaking highlight just on the back there to kind of separate the two. Um, but yeah, I agree with you, Andy. This background
the thing
doesn't make
is,
much sense and doesn't blend well with the said piece in and of itself.
no,
Uh,
because for me, looking at it, from where it roses off forehead, and then it got from, if you zoom out, where forehead is, and then it's got that black going over top at rose and down back at head. It looks like some sort of weird ass Amy Winehouse hairdo,
oh,
that's going over, back of it, and then the black down the face. I'm just wondering if that black down the front of the face started off as black under chin, but instead of it being black, should have been maybe gone in with a 75%, colour to start with, or a
yeah,
50%. But if you're doing your background like this and you want soft shading with white parts, what I'd say is, for me, I approach it a little bit like I'm approaching, like doing a sky or clouds. I'll start to put a little bit of black in, just off edge, just off edge of where I want it. But then I'll drop to quite a lighter tone, map it out, map the area out where I want with some lighter tones, and then I can work it backwards,
yeah,
and put some mid and some darker ones in, and then just work it between all the tones. I just think that looking at the rose, looking at the face, looking at the skull, looking at the nose, and then unfortunately, but this is part of learning, don't get me wrong,
mm-hmm.
you've got to get it wrong to learn to do it right. Otherwise, you've got nothing to base any of your experiences off if you're getting it right all the time. So I just think that it's got away. This one's got away, and it's too dark round outside for me, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll say my thoughts. Man, I minus the background. If we take the background away, I really like this. I love these teeth. Like, let's get in here and look at these teeth. Like, they look like they're like metal or something, which I thought was really cool. Almost got this like diamondish look. Nice little detail. Take the time, put the black in there. Um, what I think I would work on a little bit more, and it is tricky on fake skin because it shows all the stroke marks a bit more, would be maybe even smoothing some of this out even a little bit more, cross hatching back the other way, even just a little bit in certain spots to kind of take away a little of those rake marks, going to help out a little bit more. Now, what's fun about high contrast pieces is they have a real like dynamic look to them because it is black right next to a lot of open skin, and it's not terribly hard to do, but to do it well is a little bit harder than I think people think. And you do it well, but I think that we miss out on maybe some other tonage in throughout here. You could have maybe just used, even if it's the same tone, but maybe just give it a little bit more. Try to work those lighter tones just a little bit more. Again, it's just my opinion on the matter. And I think you'll find that you can just get a little bit more dynamics with it. But again, I love the ear because you went solid with that black. pushing things backwards. The flower, the rose at the top, I also really like. It's extremely legible. Again, we have a lot of openness here. Where you have your shading is nice. You didn't just go through and punch lines everywhere. It's nice. It's not a terribly large piece again. But, and this is where I've struggled with, and I still do, to be completely honest, I'm just now trying to get a little more creative or something with the backgrounds around pieces. But when you do those high contrast pieces, they need black backgrounds essentially, or heavily dark backgrounds in order for them to live. And that's really where the hard work is, because in my opinion, the hard work is not really, I mean, yeah, you got to saturate black and whatnot, and you got to leave open areas, but there's not a whole lot of sculpting going on in this nose. You're not in there really stressing, trying to create all these shapes and everything, because we're letting it air and breathe and let the skin do the work and let the black complement the open skin. So the background really is a big part of it. And I feel like you got to be pretty dominant with making the hair separate from the back. And I guess a lot of these are supposed to be strands of hair here. But again, we don't follow that up here. Like Andy said, it kind of looks like we have this big sort of woof thing going on in the background. And it's throwing it off. I couldn't sit here and tell you exactly what you need to do with your background, because I'm not really sure where the background begins and the hair ends. If these are supposed to be little strands of hair, then they need to be solid black and dark and readable against this background here. And again, the same thing. You're going to want to try to smooth out that background a little bit more. And it's again with the same with the front here. But overall, I will say, lovely piece. We give you a harder time. Are you later? You already know that, because your work on fake skin has been really improved so much. So all we have is to nitpick. So we have to nitpick because we want to see you succeed. We want to see you get better. We want to, that's all we're here to do, so take it. And I know you do. I know she takes it very, very well. And I appreciate that. I always have.
And, I mean,
I know other people are looking at this.
There's more good stuff in this piece than bad stuff. I mean, there's more good stuff in this piece than bad stuff, but specifically asked about the background. I mean, if there's one thing I could zoom in on.
Yeah, what do you want me over here?
There's one thing I can zoom in on, and look, go into the eyebrow.
Sure.
Just zoom into the eyebrow. Look at the detail. She's got back. She's got soft, and she's got lighter tones, darker tones, back shading, and put all the strands in through the eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the detail that she's gone to. We're not taking it away from her because she's good, and we're banging on because fake skin is her comfort zone, to the point that she's got to a point now that she needs to be off fake skin and working more on real skin than fake skin. Otherwise, it's going to start hindering her, because real skin doesn't work like fake skin. But you can see the quality of the work, and she's got that. But this is just why we give her a hard time. So, and it's nothing. And I know
it's probably tricky too. I remember when you're trying to really make that transition, but either one, not everybody's knocking down your door to get tattooed, because they're like, well, clientele wise. But if you get the opportunity, please try to put more, like Andy said, more tattoos on human skin than fake skin, because you do want to progress in that direction.
What I would say to her, if she's going to carry on working on, fake skin and doing bits on fake skin, right? What I would say to her later, because all this stuff like this is super comfort zone for her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I would say, let's just see some line work. Let's just see some geometric. Do you understand what I mean, Dave?
Yeah, definitely. Like
geometric.
If you're gonna hang, if you want to, just really
parallel stuff.
I think my internet was glitching. About that.
And just put yourself out there. I don't know. Put yourself right out there. Let's just see nothing but lines. Maybe a bit of dot work and everything in with it. But what I'm saying is a lot of let's see some geometric work, like mandala stuff. Everything that's got to be consistently, or as consistent as possible as it goes around this design. And yes, stay on working on fake skin, which is your comfort zone, but then throw yourself out of your comfort zone by doing line work, by doing geometric work, using fine liner, using a fat liner, combining it all up. then putting it over your couch roll so it's on a curved surface, and then try pull all these lines while doing it.
Hey, thank you, Arulator, for sending in. I don't know. Funny, some of these people, no matter how many times I hear their name, they are Arulator, you know? Even if I saw them in real life, I'm like, you are Arulator. I don't care if you have a real name.
So what is it? Yeah, you're Arulator. You're not Cassidy.
Is it Quesada or... Oh, wait, no. See, I can't remember, so I'm just a horrible person, I know.
Right, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. 1 minute.
Yeah, no problem, Andy. Okay, so we got our Allison. Hey, guys, this is a piece I did on my side, on the side of my knee the other day. Thoughts, let me know what you think and how I did. All right, Allison. So this is on the side of the knee. Sounds, hey. I'm usually a first impression kind of person, and sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. I'm like, that looks great. But this looks cool from here. So let's zoom in, take a look, see how we got. But from here, I think it looks pretty cool. Again, I am not judging at the level. We know who you are. We track your work like some of the people here. Then we give them a bit more of a hard time. But if I don't know you, then you got a little more of a general critique, if you will. But I will say the lining in this, hey, this is pretty stinking solid and consistent. All the lines are out, even the wiggly ones. They look intentional. All this looks intentional. Like, I don't know if maybe this is a little bit in the healing spot and process or whatnot, because we got a little bit of maybe like a little, but again, this side of the knee, the skin is kind of that way. I like this tattoo. Could you have added a bit more white to it? It looks like you have a little bit of white, maybe, but it doesn't need it per se. It looks like you only put it where you need it, a little bit in the eye, a little under the eye, a little right here. I like the different techniques we have, some stipple shading, and then up here, it gets a little blurry, but it appears that you have what I would maybe consider like a mag shade going on up here, with down here a bit of that stipple look. And we left certain, I like this tattoo. It's a solid black where solid black needs to be. Seems like we got a little bit of texture and shading here and there. The eye works out. The circles don't seem wonky. It works. I mean, yeah, it's good to go. I don't got anything really bad to say about it or anything constructive, in my opinion, that would really help you along. I think it's looking fine. I'd have to see more of your work to, to help you out there. But nice job. Is that the only one you sent? Perfect. Right on. Keep at it. The bird skull is looking good. It's looking good. All right. Next up, we got some black and gray piece and some color. Here are some I have done since I have been in my own shop. Right on, your own shop. We're going to call you artistic because it's LXX artistic XXL. So artistic. All right, let's take a look what you've been doing in your shop. All right. Excuse me, burps on the regular here. All right, I'm going to scroll through and we're going to take a little look-see here and collect a few thoughts, opinions, which again are just that of one individual, guys. Take everything with a grain of salt. My favorite of looking at this has got to be the bottom down here. I really like the time you took to put all these little wood grain lines in there and the line weight, right? So you got the regular, I'll call it, whatever regular main line weight you use throughout most of this. And then you went back through and really just put all those tiny little wood lines in there, and then smartly shaded it even over here on the sides to get glare and whatnot. I mean, it's in its own sort of style. Not, again, I say it's not like style I would do, because I would always trying to like push like realistic-ish things going on, but this isn't that, and that works out just fine here. Your rake marks are smooth as they come up. I wish there was just a little bit more black down in the water. It would have helped set it off a little bit. Now, there's a lot of lines in this, and 90% of them are pretty good. There's just a few up here in the sail. It's unfortunate because they're right where you can see them, and they just kind of get away from you a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't think these are supposed to be intentionally this way. One could think or say that because of it being in the sail. But overall, not bad. I think if anything, maybe a little bit of line work here and there, a little bit off. But you have some of these long lines that are super smooth, so hard to understand what exactly was going on there. Maybe it was the spot, maybe it was the stretch. Even all these little lines in the back here, not too bad considering how many there are. I think it could definitely be smoothed out more, right? I think we definitely could execute these lines better. So I would say try to do that. Focus on those lines. I know there's only about 10,000 of them in this tattoo, but take your time. I think you could do them a little bit cleaner just by telling what you've done in other parts of this tattoo, and incorporate maybe just a touch hair more black wherever you can to help it pop a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's cool. I like it. All right, Andy, I'm gonna give you this one. It is colorful, and you tend to like the colorful stuff.
I do like the colourful stuff. Obviously, it's Venom. I'm not a fan of the, shall we say, colour choices and coloured execution on this. I think, again, I think it wanted more colours, wasn't it, Dave? I know I keep banging on about it, but I think it wanted more colours. The tongue, the colour choice through the tongue from when it could have been in the mouth, because it come out of the mouth, that would generally be a little bit darker when it's in the back of the mouth, and as it comes around the tongue, obviously you've got your lights, your darks, your twists and your shades, and over Venom's head. And I think where they've got that black on the forehead, it just seems to stop quite abrupt. I don't know what you'll think, towards...
Yeah, I'm with you, man, 100%.
I think
I don't really like those lines coming out of it.
No,
either.
instead of having them lines,
it didn't work.
Instead of having them lines, I think it'd look better if you'd have just feathered the shading out, feathered the black out, and that on it, and then coloured from a heavier blue into a lighter blue. Are these two old people still critiquing the younger generation of artists? Well, yeah.
Do we have a moderator here? Can we get these spam bots out of here? These freaking turds.
Yeah. I think I'm old enough to be Joey's dad. You know what I mean? Myself personally, and I think it's past your bedtime, Joey. Get to bed. You know what I mean? It's as I say, yeah, I just think it could flow a bit better with colours. I mean, you've got the black coming off the side of Venom's head, but then you've got the lighting source. The main lighting source is on the top of his forehead there. So yeah, it's coming dark down here, but these sides would have naturally been darker as well. And I just think Grandpa Dave and Andy, it's well, you're not wrong there. I am. But I just think the choice of colours is not helping this. It could have been smoothed out. Use of a few more colours. This is what you see a lot: is people seem to be scared to bust colours out and mix them in tube. If you're bothered about that, and what I do, I don't know about you, if I'm doing a piece like this and you're bothered about your colours, I have some small 8mm caps, little size 8s. And I use them for my colours, like it's only got like 4 or 5 drops in them, and believe it or not, go for miles. Do the colours, but I think this is lacking is just colour choice and some blending issues on this. It could have been smoothed out.
John was saying it might be in that comic drawing style, and I think I know what he's saying. And on
Marvel style, DC Marvel style.
Yeah, I personally don't dislike this tattoo. I'm with you though, Andy. The one thing that draws my eye in would be these lines up here. I know what he's trying to do, but they feel disconnected from this black patch here. And while there are a few different blues, and then the lining up here, I wish that solid black was like right up to it, and if they kind of faded out or whatnot. But in the mouth, I like that they use purple to try to get like a dark color, so they're not bringing black on top of it. But I feel like there should be some sort of depth in this mouth a little bit. Again, with that shadowing being, with the light source being back here, there should be some sort of bit more shadowing inside the mouth, and I think that would be cool. It might darken the piece up a little bit too much, so maybe they took maybe they decided not to for that particular reason, but maybe a little more depth inside the mouth there.
Yeah.
But we better get moving here because we got plenty to get through and only about half an hour left to go.
Yeah, it's nearly Joey's bedtime.
Yeah, Joey, we need a moderator here. Get some of these freaking people, kick them out before they get in here. They start breathing bad ideas and stuff.
we just seem every week we just seem to get more and more trolls, you know.
It's isn't it? We got these people from Dubai in here giving us a hard time. And then we got people using their wives' accounts. Jason, my God, I need to get these people out of here.
All right. But what I want to know is if he's using his wife's account to come on here, what else of his wife's is he using? You know what I mean? I hope he's not. I hope he's not sat there in front of the TV with her high heels on. You know what I mean? While he's watching this,
right? Yep.
And she might get a bit. She might get a little bit jealous, wondering why her shoes are a bit stretched out.
Let me try this again. Okay, there it worked.
All
right. Hello.
4:01 in the morning.
Is it 4 in the morning? Well, I don't know what to say. Go to bed or get some, or wait.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I just couldn't find the words there.
Yeah. Breakfast time. It's breakfast time for John.
Yeah, Jason, get your own Netflix account. Gosh, you can't be in this chat and have thin skin. All right. Hello, it's me, Mike. I am having problems doing transitions. Any suggestions? Thanks. All right. Well, take a look and give you some. I think we saw this one. That or somebody else tattooed it, and this person tattooed it as well. But
I quite like it.
I don't mind it. Yeah, no, it works out. It works.
Just
seems okay. I mean,
I don't know about you, Dave. When he's going on about transitions, and can you see all this black? And this black works, and you see how it goes out, and that's just where it comes out. That's just learning your pressures with your needles, just to feather them out, you know, and work your colours in. Where I might just some of the sides of some of the fingers in the top half seem a bit harsh lined, and he hasn't sort of like softened them out. If he'd just softened some of them out a little bit, I think he'd just taken it to the next level for what it is.
Yeah,
to be honest, I don't dislike it, and I mean, I understand what he's saying about softening and his transitions, but that's just working your pressures out and your hand speed.
Yeah, and I think also if you were using solid black, let's say over in this section, black, and you start whipping, right? So you're packing, and then you start whipping the black out, if you will, right? Bringing that or lightening your hand pressure up. You could, if you wanted to, come back in with your next shade. Let's say your next shade's a 50% and kind of work that over top of that 100 and then blend that out a little further. If you want to keep it like a saturated blend out, right? A saturated move across. So you come back in with your next one, kind of like you would take a color, kind of the same way you would take a red into a yellow, you know, come and pack that red till you want to start transitioning to the orange and kind of whip it out a little bit or lighten hand texture, bring that orange, blend that orange in with that red, bring it down, do the same thing to transition to the next tone. You can do that in black and gray as well. And you could do that here. But if you're looking for something like a quick sort of a whip out, if you will, or a quick sort of like stop there, then yeah, you can just, I mean, you could use your hand and just lighten it up, and just sort of whip it out smoothly. And it should help you get, you know, not have this black patch here. Because if you're packing black, you want that black to be just as black as the line, like you have down here. You see this black right here? That is solid, right? And so if this is all supposed to be black, then I would probably line that with a lighter tone so you're not left with this sort of like line after the fact. And then I could see like down here around this chin or whatnot, maybe you could smooth that out a little bit more here and there. But yeah, no, overall, it reads. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not too bad. I would probably say you could probably have gotten a little bit more shading, a little bit more depth with a little bit more darkness, maybe down underneath that chin down there. Over here, a little darker there as well. There's no real like black in this tattoo. There's a little bit over here and a little here and there, but there's no like solid points of black. And I think that again is what it's missing. Solid black under the chin, a little bit of real dark along the side of the face. You got dark on the side of the nose here. That works. I don't know if it's meant to be, but I don't think this, she's got like a bald spot back here on the top of her head. So I would just try to find those little spots here and there. I don't know, Andy, what are your thoughts?
So, yeah, no, I pretty much agree with you. I mean, it could do with a little bit more black, and some of the strands in the hair could have done with softening a bit. But it's transitioning. What I would say, if you look at the shading within the cheeks and the forehead, and that it's all one direction, very directional. Like in the forehead, it's like straight up and down.
Yeah,
Try
true
some
story there. Yep.
instead of going up, then try cross hatching this way, and so on. That way, then your needles are always just going in one direction. You're going to fill. You find it easier with less passes to fill them open voids, that of dots that your machine has left behind, and that way, then you'll naturally get a softer, a softer blend, a softer shade. I don't dislike the piece. I just think a few tweaks here and there would have made
Absolutely
it
agree with you.
a
Yep.
great piece.
Yeah,
And
definitely
especially,
agree.
like I say, with the shading, just try a bit of cross hatching with the shading.
Mm-hmm. And put some black in there. You can always go back into this thing. Like you didn't over darken it, you under darkened it if that's a thing. And just see what happens. Right, you're already done with it. Why not test the waters out? What does it look like if I get a little crazy and I go a little dark? Now's the time. Figure out how it looks and then be like, oh, screw what Dave says. I like the way it was before. Very well. That's just the process, right? Okay. Here we got a bit of dark in the braid there. This looks a bit unfinished. I'm telling you, I hate doing hair. I've talked to Joey about this. I've talked to Andy. I've talked to some other people. Hair is like my nemesis. I work harder at it. I've slowed down at it. Furs, all that stuff. It's tricky stuff. And I see that you have an issue here too because I don't know. This hair just sort of feels. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, and that's my problem too. Sometimes I'm like, I don't like it, but what do I do to fix it? Not 100% sure there. But I do like this sort of like light bit on the side of the nose here. The lips, I would steer away from using such hard lining on those lips. The eyes, I guess they work, but they do seem a little bit off. Maybe this one, but I've just first glance, it doesn't really bother me too much. I don't know, Andy. It's I kind of thought the other one was a little bit nicer in the face, if
Yeah.
you will, and maybe you
Yeah.
went with your dark tones, maybe just. I think it's the hair throwing it off for me, and I can't really tell.
I think it's the fact that it looks very unfinished.
There you go. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't look anywhere near completed. But then you've got such a dark tone in the middle of the face, where it probably would have been naturally darker coming so far in from that side, but then faded out, to a lighter tone where there seems to be that tone all the way across again, and it seems to be very directional. Like we said again, just lighten your needles up as they're going across, the skin, and then just cross hatch your way through with some lighter passes, which should give you a smoother, transition and a smoother gradation.
Yeah, I agree there.
Across it, but it just looks very, very unfinished. It's really hard to just put your finger on it, but it just looks very unfinished.
Yeah, it does. It does look a bit unfinished. All right, let's see what we got here. After looking at the pieces, I think we're going backwards in progression. Maybe the first one I looked at, or with the hands and the whatnot, was maybe at the where we're currently at potentially, because I'm not a big fan of this one. Just after looking at a few of your pieces, I don't know. Actually don't mind the wings, even though the lining's all over the place. In my opinion, we got some thick lines, some thin lines. Again, I wish broken record over here. I wish if you're gonna, put a wing behind another wing, then you need to make sure that black's coming all the way down behind the wing, behind the feathers. I guess you could say behind the feathers. Make that solid black and then blend that out. It's just a little bit here and there, but the rest just kind of feels very just sort of scratchy everywhere. The hair's kind of spaghetti, and the face is kind of hard to read. So there's nothing wrong with you not having a piece that's great, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's them blacks and them wings, especially back edges of them, should have been pushed right into corners, and then just drawn out, shaded out. Could have run longer at one side, shorter up other, just to give it a bit of form. Like you said, the hair's looking very stringy. Is the hair?
Yeah,
and with you, it feels like we're going backwards in time with the piece.
Yeah, because I mean the lining in the other one seemed a little bit better. Everywhere there's line T, it's like
first piece that we've seen, and that seems to be a lot more higher caliber than this, because this doesn't have lines that are finished. Some that are lighter, some that are not really well put in, a bit scratchy.
Yeah,
and it's I don't really want to
check
know
out the next one. Okay, well, from here the hair feels more flowy, right? It feels more like hair. I feel like you can kind of run your fingers through that. It's still a bit like splotchy feeling, but you can smooth that out. But at least there's some flow going on in the hair. And the eyes, from where I'm looking at, they look pretty decent. We got shadows in decent spots, a little rim light on the side there. Yeah, this one's probably my second favorite. Yeah, not too bad. I think we got like a Jeremy style hair here. We're just kind of like getting the feel of the hair in there, and I wish it would kind of really take it through to fruition when it comes to the hair, right? Think heavy about it and really finish it. I think this piece definitely could be finished, and I think this would be one of the best ones you could finish, because this one would look really nice. Just embrace the dark, embrace black in this piece, really. So go ahead, Andy. I just feel like a broken record sometimes.
No, I mean, it's if Jeremy's still in chat, he's going to love me for saying this. I wish he'd have got some eyelashes. I think it could have done with being nice to have a few eyelashes just to make it round eyes. But I'm with you, Dave. I mean, it's a better piece than some of the others. Just the hair looks a little bit unfinished, like you said, but should we say Jeremy style, and that.
Yeah.
But the shading and his light source, he seems to be getting there with the shading and the light source and everything, but he just needs to learn to smooth the the shading out and just pay attention to a few areas that are going on. Overall generalness of it, when you pull away from it, it's readable and you can tell what it is, and it's not an ugly tattoo by far, but it just needs smoothing out and just needs working on. Finessing, I think, is a good word.
Yeah, and just this, sometimes you gotta be careful on these noses here, where we try to get the feel of the curve out, and if it's just not quite, I feel like if you bring the shadowing down just a little bit and over a bit, it'll take away this little bit of, like, I don't know, that I'm seeing here in the tip of the nose. It can be a tricky spot. Spend a little extra time sometimes on noses, but all right, sweet. Let's go ahead and check out the next one. Let's see. Hi, mate. Please let me know what you think. This is from Constantine. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Wow, looks pretty nice to me.
I love red tattoos.
And look how it's very consistent. Like, everyone's dots is pretty stinking consistent.
Very delicate.
I think that's a nice job.
Yeah, very delicate, very feminine, and very, very up to date with the red ink. I mean, people are just now, they're using red ink like this. They're also now just starting to use blue ink. The blue,
really?
Yeah, and have stuff like this done. But I like this. It's very girly, very pretty. Like you said, them dots, the little triangles of the dots are a fairly good size. The little teardrops are done. This is being done with a very, very small needle.
Yeah.
And if you manage to zoom out a little bit for us, Dave, where it goes just over that shoulder. I mean, you look at that line, it's pretty damn straight going across. Is that line across the top of that shoulder, and it's a nice piece. It is a nice piece, nicely done, nicely executed, delicate, up to date type of piece. Well done. Well done.
Definitely. Let's take a look at the next one.
Blowout.
Yeah, I see it's a bit rough and blown out in a few spots here and there. I don't know. I mean, from like a design perspective, that's not really doing anything for me. But who knows? Maybe to the right person, they would really, really like this piece. But from an execution point, a lot of it's pretty good, right? Most of these lines are pretty consistent as far as the line weight they're using, but it just seems like they might be pushing the boundary of depth or speed per se, because while some of them aren't blown out, they might be overly done, which means they could scar up a little bit to some degree. So I would just be watchful of that. Maybe slow your voltage down a little bit, and you can maintain the same hand movement, and that might help you. Or maybe pull your needles in a little bit more. It depends on the location. Everywhere's a little bit different for sure. So that would just be my opinion on it. But the lines, where they're at, they all pretty consistent. It's just some of them went a little beyond where they needed to be.
Yeah, it's like I said, pretty consistent. It's just that one that's way out there across top at forehead. That's heavy. That either looks drilled. It's got a blowout. It's got a good ass blowout across it as well. To be fair,
a good ass blowout.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I know what you mean.
Well, it is what it is. Some of the places, especially within the flowers, especially some of the stamens and that, I would have thought may have just been a little bit finer. But taking all that apart, there's just one thing that is just bending my eyes.
Yeah.
And that's the lips. The lips in relation to the nose. The nose looks to be slightly off one way, and the lips look to be off the. It looks out askew. Does front of that face? Hey, somebody's been lucky anyway, Dave.
What is that?
Well, they're getting a reply to a text message off you.
These are people like right now. Of course, people are booking appointments right now, and I'm like, crap, I forgot about you. Yes, let me get you in on the books. That's why I'm like, throw my 2 cents in and back. I got one more to do, but I will do that in just a moment here.
No, but it's mainly for me. It's as we're looking at it, the right hand side, the line under the flower that comes down to the jaw, that looks heavy. It looks drilled.
Yeah.
And also the one that runs over the forehead, down towards the eye, that's heavy, that's drilled. It's got the blowouts. And the little flower that comes off by the top of the left eye there, that looks a bit heavily put in and drilled for it. But other than that, like I said, it's pretty consistent. I'm just also not a fan of the design either.
Yeah, I agree. Some of it can be the design. I've done plenty of tattoos. I'm not in love with the design. It's just that, but that's what the client wants, and so you just do the best job you can. And but it does stink when that design can be half the battle. Sometimes it can be half the battle whether somebody enjoys looking at your tattoo or they don't. But you can't always decide that, if you will. So this is Jesus says, Trucker Jesus again. Yeah, man. Thank you for your encouragement. Here's another piece I did. Some lines were done with a liner, others with a mag. I also had done the tattoo on the wrong side of the rail skin. 12th day. Okay, if you guys don't remember, Trucker Jesus here. I think he sent in was the day 6, 7, and 8 last time, and it was like, whoa, dude, nice stuff. I'm looking at this little thumbnail down here already thinking, day 12, man, you are doing it right. You are taking your time. I hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth. Oh, yeah.
With it Jesus that sent us last time, with it something like day 9, 8, 9, and 10?
Yeah. And I don't think he disappointed for day 12. Are there some things I would do because I like the style that you work in? Yeah. But for day 12, I really like it. What I would say is this is one of them pieces where I would do it. And I'd feel like, man, Dave, you're kind of getting a little too dark. Come on, hang back. And then I would take a photo of him and be like, dang it. Yes, I like it. It needs more black. And it would only just help the contrast a little bit more. And places where I spent the extra time to get the extra detail, I'd probably go back over with the black and kind of do it up, right? So coming around this curve right here, so you have that little bit of black right there, I would drag that out to about here, a little bit further, whip it out as you go. Down in here where you took the time to make this dark and that little bit of shade there, this is what I do too. I do the same thing. I take that time, and then when I'm done, I look at it, I'm like, I should have just blacked it. Would have saved a couple minutes too. Black it. Just find little patches where you can darken it up a little bit more. But anyhow, and find those throughout the tattoo after you're done. Where can I put a little bit more black? I still do that to this day, but most of my clients are like begging me, please stop. Please. We're in hour number 5 and 6, and it's like they wouldn't let me hit them again if I wanted to. So you do what you can. That's my opinion, Andy. I'm going to reply to this message and let you take it.
Yeah, no, I mean, this one again, I mean, let's be right. This guy's day 12. Day 12 is our career.
Right, I know.
Is there some faults in it? Yeah, some lines could be a little bit smoother, could be a little bit saturated, but we're looking at day 12, and I agree with what Dave says. It's like the canisters on the side of the gas mask. Because they're curved, they would naturally have a darkness at the bottom, they would have a darkness at the top. The lenses would have been nice if we could have had some super dark transitioning out and maybe just a glint of an highlight on one, just to give it that bit of an extra 3D effect. But other than that, like I say, I think it's just missing some depth and dimension in this. Maybe using a darker tone, black, like we said. I know we keep banging on about black, just keep using black. But then a mid-tone and a lighter tone, I think it would have just
I think you're right there,
set this off. And like I say, I mean, just a bit of a highlight in one at lenses, just to give that glint. But that's the artist's choice. But mainly is add a little bit more black, maybe get a lighter tone in there with a medium tone. But hey, this guy's day 12. I think he's doing a cracking job for 12 days in.
Yeah.
He's figuring it out.
Yeah.
He's getting dimension and depth into it. And he's getting stuff. And it's, even though it just needs a bit more pushing, he's still managing to get stuff in the background, mid-range and foreground and making interesting looking pieces.
Right. Yeah, that's the key sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is.
I'm sorry. I think I'm done with this one now. Okay. All right. Thanks, Andy. Sorry about that, man.
No problem.
Yeah. Again, just to beat that dead horse. 12 days in, man. I'm glad that we can be encouraging to you, but you sent us some good work at such an early on in your process, man. And I'm grateful that we can encourage you because it's encouraging. Gosh, what's up, my doggone phone? If you know me, I don't like to reply to people, so it takes a lot of effort. The sleeve, Larry B. Okay, here we go. The sleeve is what I done 8 years ago. I had a motorcycle accident. Haven't touched anything until recent after gaining hand movement. Well, I'm glad to hear you gain hand movement. Sorry to hear about the wreck. So the sleeve was what? So you did the sleeve. It sounds like you did the sleeve 8 years ago. Had a motorcycle accident, and now you're getting back into things. So we'll take a look at the sleeve first. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, I like those flowers down there.
Yeah.
Excuse me, very open and airy. I have a hard time letting things breathe sometimes, you know. And
that's, very soft.
Yeah, super breathable. Very nice. And I like the flower too. Nice use of color.
Yeah, nice use of color. B's nice.
Yeah.
You know, not scared to use color. Differences in colors. Get that shading in. No use of lines. Really nice slick piece. This.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I like it. So we got that. Now we got you getting back into it after 8 years. It's gotta be tough seeing what you were able to do and now entering back into it. So kudos to you for doing that after 8 years. Looks like we got some peppers here. I'm not really sure if this is like a purple or if this is a gray or something. Maybe this is a green. I'm not sure if this is black and gray or color,
Looks
like
great to
really,
me.
really light colors or something. I don't know. Well, Chris says
Obviously,
that the number of days you've been tattooing doesn't mean shit. Well, I mean, I think it does in context to if you're learning, right? I mean, just because you've been at it for 12 days and maybe somebody's been at it for 20 months. No, I guess it doesn't really matter all that much, to everybody moves at their own rate or own pace. Uh, but I do believe it does matter in this context, especially with what we're doing here, whether you're on 12 days. It would only not matter if you were lying, right? So if you were lying and being like, this is 12 days and it was really 12 months, well, you're not, what do you want? Like, you're just going to get false affirmation, right? People are going to tell you, wow, that's awesome for just 12 days, but really it hasn't been 12 days, So I don't really think there's a whole lot to be gained over that. I have no problem with. I don't think there's anything wrong with tracking how many days you've been tattooing. It means something to the person and to us watching. Yeah, it helps us understand how long you've been at it and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe to you it doesn't mean shit, but to maybe somebody else it does. It doesn't bother me at all. All right, but that's the beauty of having so many different people, right? All right, Andy, what do you think here, man? Sorry, I spoke on that last one and just jumped to this one.
no, you're fine. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like you say, it must be frustrating for this person after having the wreck from where he was to having to relearn and retrain. And we don't know the specifics of how badly he's lost movement and of his wreck and everything. Right. But it must be frustrating, getting back into it and having to rework everything. And we can see from what he used to have, there's to where he is. It's like having to relearn all. Must be hard because he's having to relearn everything all over again.
Yeah.
And it's showing that, like on this piece, some of the transitions between the greys and the blacks are a little bit choppy, and this, that, and other. And obviously, he's working hard to get back into it, but it's going to take him time.
I think so too.
And that's got to be a frustrating factor. But it just needs to work. From looking at this piece, got to work on, his transitions between, smooth transitions between his black and greys and things on that. Because obviously black and greys work different to colour. And obviously before this person, we've not seen any of his black and grey work, we'd seen colour. And his colour was on point. What I would say to Larry, if you're maybe struggling a bit with your black and greys, as in diluted washes, Larry, try true greys because they work like colour. Do you know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah, true greys can help you out.
True greys up because it's full pigment. It's not a washed out. It's a full pigment, so you can treat it like colours. What colour that goes in the skin is what colour it's going to heal on, but a slight variance as it heals. But you're going to see it better like you would colour when you're working in wood colour. Just try that if you're struggling to see your transitions and what your colours and your shades are going to be coming out with grey washes. Try using a full pigment, and it looks like he's using Mass Pro cartridges.
That was going to be my only comment. I was like, hey, you got a decent needle that you're working on here. Yeah. And remember, I don't know what he was doing before 8 years ago. Maybe fake skins weren't really as big of a deal. And so also learning to tattoo a different needle medium, like Joey said, trying to relearn tattooing 8 years later and in the current tattooing, world that we're living in here, where so much information, people can learn at such a more quicker rate, and then improve things on their own rate as well. So it's a lot to keep up with and try to hang with. So yeah, I definitely understand that. At least you're doing some real basic stuff here, right? Lining and packing in some black. But again, if you're going to pack in the black, it's close, but it needs to be a bit more saturated. We can see through this. The lining, while it's not horrible or anything, it's still not completely smooth. You can definitely see where pickups and put downs were. Consistency left to right's a little bit off. But again, if we look at your stencil, though, your stencil also has those same inconsistencies. So it could also be, in fact, in a lot of ways, you lined this pretty close to what your stencil said, actually. So I would actually maybe spend a little more time working on that stencil, making sure it's a
Yeah,
little
I
more
mean,
accurate. Oh, sorry,
it's like you
Andrew.
said, the chat people, the learning and the learning around their existing jobs, and they're finding it hard to get time. I get it. I totally get it there, because they've got jobs, they've got
Oh, yeah.
family, they've got to work full time, they've got families, they've got wives, got grandkids, whatever. So they've got to devote time to that. Then they
Me
try to find
too.
time to do this and learn this. Unlike somebody that's doing it full time, like yourself, like myself. I mean, obviously, there's people on here doing it full time.
Right.
That, yes, every day is a learning day, but with the learning day every day, when you're on skin as well, because you're doing such a variety,
Oh my gosh.
you'd
Yeah.
also, your techniques are improving. You're learning shortcuts for your techniques. You're learning,
Yeah.
it's just everything, and you get faster. I mean, we spoke midweek and we were on, and it's like I said to you, I mean, some weeks, like this week, I think I had 14 tattoos this week.
Right.
And then another 5 people tried getting a walk in on Saturday, which I just physically couldn't do it. But some weeks I can have 10, 12, 14, 15 tattoos in a week. Some of them I might have a bit bigger ones, and I might only have 3, 4, 5 in a week. But when you're turning, when you're doing them, your designs and your line work and your shading, you know yourself, Dave, the more you do, the more efficient and the quicker you get at it.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
know,
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And yeah, I mean, but for me personally, you get way more comfortable. There was a time when I would spend like several days preparing for a larger tattoo. Most of what I do is medium to larger size tattoos. And because like again, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so most people find me for those particular things. If they're going to come out here, a lot of times it's for medium to larger size tattoos. And so I used to have time to spend several days preparing for a tattoo, designing it, making sure the stencil was creme de la creme. And I had drawn that piece several times. Like I knew that thing inside and out. But over time, you get to the point where you don't, you are designing for the next day or for the next couple days. So you only have like a day to prepare for the next one. And that might be that evening, getting the stencil ready for that piece that you designed maybe a couple days ago. So, I mean, it gets easier because you get more comfortable, but it also gets a little bit more stressful in its own right, because you got to figure it all out pretty much at that moment. And for me, I take every single tattoo. There's never a time where I feel completely confident ever. I literally say a prayer before every single tattoo. And because I know that I could burp at any point and I could make a mistake on a line I don't want to, or I could read a shade incorrectly, or I could be talking to the client and forget and put black where I should have left it empty or something, or just whatever, a million different things. So yeah,
I mean,
it's definitely tricky.
I'd love to have that amount of time to stencil. Some of the bigger
Right.
stuff you've got to dedicate that amount of time to, but sometimes you can't. I mean, I've even been sat in shop, and if I've finished early and somebody's come in, they've shown you design, and I've literally got 15 or 20 minutes to do a design. It's like, well, I'm quiet, I might as well do it. So I've got 15, 20 minutes to do a stencil, get it to stencil, and crack on. It's like you say, I've had no preparation, so I've got to get the stencil, I've got to get the reference,
Right.
and you've just got to go with your experience and get them in there and get it done.
Yeah, so it definitely becomes a bit harder in its own right to not only, and you want inside to keep up a certain standard, and that can be tricky. And that's when you really got to tell yourself, no, I'm not going to, I got to slow down, because in your mind, you can tell yourself you need to, speed up. We need to get through this, or blah, blah, blah. But again, when I was just tattooing like one, maybe two good sized pieces a week, had way more time, yada, yada, where now it's like go every day kind of a thing to some degree. Oh, sorry, Jesus, we already saw your piece. So keep that in mind. You will get better, but at the same time, as business progresses, you might find that you have to get better because now you have to work at a quicker rate, or get more stuff done over the course of a week than maybe just a few things. So, but that's the whole progress. You learn as you go. You don't just, if you to jump in all at once like that, you would sink, right? So it's best to do a little bit more, and your work will get better over time. I don't know what's going on here, Peter. I don't have anything here, but it says I do. So I'm not sure.
And I'm sure when you move, Dave,
I'll put a star there, Peter. We'll come back, see if we can make it work
I'm
later.
sure when you move, Dave, and if you get into, you send into a shop and into a studio, you're probably going to, and you may end up getting yourself into a situation like me that you might have one piece on, and then you end up with a walkie, so you've got to rattle it up, you've got to rattle the stencil off there and then not fly, or you're going to end up, and I've regularly had it 4, 5, 6 clients in one day, smaller pieces,
right.
But then you've still got to strip down, clean, disinfect, everything in between each client. But this is the reality of being in your studio and having it as a full-time job, as well as paying for your own studio, your shop bills, as well as your own bills, and making yourself a living as well. It's you've just got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah, true. We're just checking and see if anybody's got anything. Nope, we're good to go. I didn't know if that Peter character was over there saying they were gonna maybe try sending it a different way, but I didn't see anything. So I'll try to go back to him later and see if I can make it work. We are technically over. We'll do a few more just because I've been talking more than usual, so I feel like I've kind of missed a few people. So we'll do the best that we can. Next one is John Elmore. He says, "Hi, Dave and Andy. Hope all is well with you both. Sent you a couple a few weeks back. Like I said before, always just a hobby. Been about 8 months. Still only a few hours a week. One I did a while ago on cheap skin. Other one doing at the moment on better quality skin. Great to hear what you think. John from the UK. Love your stream. Thank you, John. And you're in Andy's neck of the woods.
Yeah.
General location. All right, so I guess we'll take a look at this one first. Well. Well, I will say of the stuff to look at, the lines are the better thing going on here, right? The lines are better than the shading, in my opinion. There are a few spots where we double banged here and there, but it's forgivable. But where you have this sort of darkness, I think you need to try to figure out how to get your shades to be a little bit more saturated, a little bit more smoothed out. And then careful not to get too tonal because this is extremely tonal. What would have been cool is if up here this was just like black, boom, black, that little crack out, that opening in the head, black some of this stuff. If you're just trying to figure things out, be a little bit more direct with things. Because whatever's happening here is kind of just pretty much open. We're not even up to the lines and what have you here. So that would be my 2 cents there without just sounding like a broken record at times. So we can jump to the next one because that did get a little bit tonal. This one I think is better. At least you're using darks properly, right? So we have some solid bit of darkage, as I would call it, right here. Blends out all right. Same up here. Gets nice and dark. I feel like this is stretching. I feel like this is moving around, so that's cool. Same up here. The shading and the skull is pretty simplistic. I see you've dotted it out. Give yourself a nice little roadmap there. It's a bit simplistic in its shading, but it's relatively smooth. It's not too bad. I'd like to see us finished. Maybe a third piece down the road send to us, but definitely improvement here. I can tell you're working on your lines overall. If we look at this stuff, I don't know how long you've been at it. You said 8 months, and you only got a little bit of time here and there. You're at least your lines. This isn't your first rodeo here. You are working on them. Are they at a high level? No, but they're definitely going in a good direction. And this piece here tells me your shading is starting to go in that direction as well. Did I beat a dead horse on this one, Andy?
Sure. Yeah, you've covered it, like I said.
Sorry, man.
No, you're right.
I'd love to get a blabbering, and I don't know when to stop.
No.
What's my internet? Shocker, acting crappy here. Try to refresh this. It must be sent from iPad. Maybe there's something wrong when people send stuff from iPad because this one didn't come through either. That stinks. All right, guys, we are getting towards the end here. I'll put a star next to it. Maybe I can try to come back to it in a few minutes. Who said over 50 sleep early? I'm still here keeping up with the youngsters. We went over this, Stevie. You took a nap earlier. You trying to hide the nap? Trying to think that maybe the people who got here later forgot that you told us you took a nap? God, Stevie. I still appreciate you being here, Stevie, and all the support that you
Just set his alarm clock as Stevie and just walk back up.
What's that, Andy?
Yeah, it was. It went quite in chat, if you noticed. So it must have an alarm clock to wake him back up at this time.
Just so he could.
That's what it'll be.
Yeah, so he could say a few words at the end. They'd be like, "I'm still here. I've been here the whole time, guys. Been here the whole time. I am."
Yeah.
Oh shoot! All right, John. Oh, what is going on? It's got to be something wrong with my internet then, causing all these photos to not come in.
I don't know what it is, but I know you've had a lot of freezing and glitching at my end tonight.
Yeah, and yours has too. So usually when I see you freeze, I know that I'm freezing a lot too.
Oh, Stevie says it's about time we. His last comment says it's about time we piss off. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, of course, naturally. Right, yeah. Actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Stevie. So
he must want to go to bed.
That's fine though. Actually, on that note, my internet seems to be acting up even more than usual, and photos aren't coming through, and we're past the 2-hour mark. And I know that there's some people who are like, "But no, my email is right there." I know, and I am sorry. I feel for you. I do. But we will be here next Sunday. All things, unless some catastrophic thing happens. Well, anything else catastrophic besides the derailment of the train there in East Palestine, which is about like 45 minutes from here. Anything other than that, we should be here next Sunday. So definitely send your work in next Sunday. First come, first serve.
Hopefully, I've got my shit together next Sunday as well. I want to, because like I said, I want to try to restream it. On 2 channels. See if we can stream it across 2 channels.
Yes. Yeah, we should tell
simultaneous. It's either gonna work, or it's either going to work, or we're just going to look like 2 pictures on a screen, and it's going to drag internet down that fast. That it's just not going to work. But we'll give it a go. See if we can restream across 2 channels live.
Yeah.
So that should see whether it make it up for fun.
Oh yeah, Jason asked, or Mary, Where's your channel? It's there. Andy just said we're gonna stream over there from here.
Yeah, it's not this channel with my name on. It's another one. It's the Tattoo Studio. If hit me up on Instagram, send me a message. I'll send you a link across.
Yeah.
To it. And that, no problem. But like I say, we'll give it a go. It'll either make it or break it. It's one of them things. I'm just not that tech savvy.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's why our internet, our stream is forever glitchy and whatnot, because I am just savvy enough to like be here, but not savvy enough to make it clear. I don't know. I'm hoping we get to Texas, guys, and we get some like regular human internet, and I'm sure it'll be like half the cost and twice as good. That would be fantastic, and maybe our streams will be a little bit more legible. And me and Andy won't have to forever live in these tiny little boxes, so you can't see how glitchy we are, and just merely hear our voices. But yeah.
And then,
oh shoot!
Like I said earlier, fingers crossed. Hopefully, my new machine and that comes tomorrow. If it does, like I say, I'll send you some. I'll send you some pictures and that, Dave.
Yes, I am looking forward to. Stevie said, "Can he go?" Yes, Stevie, you have been excused from the table. Okay, we'll mark you down as present. No one's got to know about it. Yeah, box checked, brother. But on the side note, I am looking forward to that machine. And Joey did ask what machine. I'm really interested, Andy. I want to know about the batteries because they seem super affordable. I like those batteries.
It is super affordable, and like I said to you, Dave, I could have picked any machine I wanted, Bishop, anything, what I wanted, and I'm not just blowing my own trumpet there, but I could have.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I'm also, how can you put it? I'm also not a sheep. I'm not a believer that I've got to have this. I've got to have that. This is going to make you do this. This is going to make you do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I've always thought with everything I've done, not just with this. I've always looked outside and thought outside the box. And we're doing this that we do on a Sunday night, and most of them are learning. And the good thing is an affordable machine, and I'm running an affordable machine at the minute, and I've used it for 3 years, every single day, 5 days a week. And like I've said to you, some big pieces all day long, 5 and 6 tattoos. And after, what did I say? We're at 3 years. Eventually, after 3 years, motor packed in one of them, to the point that I got in touch with the company, and they sent me a new motor. It was $25 for the motor. They sent me a new motor. And
that's right. That's right. It
was 2 screws and 2 wires, and it were in. To the point that the machine that I've just looked at is, I thought would be pretty good for these, but I wanted, there was some specific, it had to be direct drive and it had to be powerful, with a powerful stroke. So I've actually bought a Ambition torped machine.
What is it again? Ambition? I remember we talked about it, but I can't remember.
Ambition torped, TORPED. And it's the 4mm. You get, it comes with 3 cams that you change yourself. It comes with a 4mm, 4.5, or a 5mm.
That's nice.
Comes with a battery, and I wanted a separate battery this time, separate power supply. And I've also bought a second power supply, and hopefully and also it's a brushless motor, not a brushed motor, not a coreless. It's a 100% brushless motor. There's nothing to wear out on it. So that's nice. I am really, really, really interested, and it's small. It's very, very small.
We measured, did all the measurements on that one too. I think it was coming in, I can't remember, 4 inches or something like that. Was that with the battery? I can't remember. We did do the measurements on that. Was dang, you ordered that thing like a month ago, Andy.
Oh, hold on. Chris is Sanjay. He's got one.
Oh, he does, huh? What's it? 5mm stroke torped.
I have torped, and changing the stroke has been amazing. I have a 5mm stroke Ambition torped compared to my Bishop 1 liner.
Ooh.
And like I say, when I bought this machine, the money wasn't the thing. It was a case of I had some specific criteria that I had to fill. I wanted a separate battery, not a dedicated battery. I wanted a separate battery. The LCD had to be on the side, and it had to have tactile buttons. You know what I mean? Of 2 amp hours or above. And then the machine had to be a direct drive, had to be a 4mm stroke and above, but this happens to come with a 4, 4.5 or a 5. And it happened to be, the bonus was it was a brushless motor, not a coreless.
Right. Yeah, and I think it has the different stroke lengths, correct?
Yes. You change the cam. You change the cam yourself. They send you 3 cams. It comes with a 4mm installed. You either install a 4.5 or a 5. And John, instead of going through it all again, hit me up on Instagram, John. I will type it all out for you. I will speak to you and everything about this machine if you want to know. And if you get it, you can video call me or whatever, mate. I've video called you, I spoke to you before, and I'll show you running this, that, and other. But yeah, I had sort of a very specific criteria to fill, and this filled it, and the reviews on it were actually amazing. And I got all. What did we work it out? I got it on a special. What did we work it out of the day?
Yeah, I think it was like $170. Is that what you paid?
Yeah, I got the machine and 1 battery, all in a zip-up case and everything. And I also bought a second battery, and with conversion rate over here, I think I only gave something like $170 for the lot of it.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, because it was on sale, right? That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Um, which is
Yeah, I
pretty
mean, you do
nice.
have to be careful with a five. You do have to be careful with a 5 mm stroke, but it's like I says, I can do more with a. I'll probably put the 4.5 in, but I can do more with a 4.5 and just change how my hand speed and how much I press on or whatever. It's just been at it too long, to not. Personally, I've been at it too long to not know what I'm looking for while I'm lining with it. So that's really not going to make any difference. It's just how hard I really needed a hard hitting machine.
Yeah, I love a hard hitting machine. I like we've been through this. Me and you have long conversations about uh strokes and swash plates versus direct drive. Big fan of direct drive all day long. Um and then it's really just a matter of what you're comfortable with. And I do like what Chris is saying here. Say, of course, you need to know what you're doing when it comes to long strokes. Pretty common sense. So if you're looking into
Yep.
changing your own stroke length, so yeah, I mean, don't. But I mean, if you're getting into 5 mm strokes, you should definitely know what you're getting yourself into. It's not the thing you want to jump right into. But yeah, a 5 mm stroke can be awesome if you know what you're doing. And like you said, Andy, I believe you said it comes with several different stroke lengths, and it's different from
Yep.
adjusting. All those adjustable. Now I know there's probably people who really love their adjustable stroke machines. I've tried several of them, and while I do see a difference when you change the little dial and you get a different stroke length, it's all coming from that swash plate drive. And I'm personally just not a big fan of swash plate drives. I feel like the hit is weak. It's not consistent. It's not the same. Like when you adjust, it's not like a true stroke change, in my opinion. So I like direct drive. And if you're going to change your stroke, I think you need to manually change the stroke or change the cams or whatnot to get like an
Yeah.
actual stroke change vice using the little machines that say they can change your stroke. Where I don't think you're getting what feels to me like a true 4.5
No.
millimeter
I mean,
stroke when you switch to it.
a four a 4.2 mm stroke. Like I said to you, I had one with adjustable strokes, everything from 2.6 up to 4.2. It was swash drive. The 4.2 mm stroke on the swash drive didn't even feel nowhere near as powerful as my 3.5 mm direct drive. Nowhere near.
Right.
Honestly, didn't.
Yeah, yeah. I've not heard of the spear. I would Google it, which I am trying to do now, but I realize my internet is purely maxed out right now with our little potato screens here. So I'm not going to risk losing it all for it, but I will check that out now that I lost it. What
Yeah.
is that? The Spear 2.0. I'm always down to check things out, and I can't obviously buy everything. Unfortunately, I got used to a certain couple machines, so I'll use them for a while until someone I finally listen to somebody and try something new. But I am interested in the batteries that Andy's getting with that machine, right?
Yeah.
I like the machines I use for now, but I have those critical batteries. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
sent a while back, and so I have one that's good. The other one, the connection's loose, and I got to open it up and fix it, but I'm too lazy to get to it. So I have another wireless battery that I use for my shader, and it has the buttons at the top, and they're not tactile. They're like digital buttons. And when I wrap it all up, it's can be a pain in the butt to hit the buttons, and pain in the butt to kind of see them. And it comes down to little things. So I definitely like the buttons being on the side of the battery, and I like them to be tactile. And those are both the things that those batteries you are coming with your machine have. The other thing also was that the price of those batteries, I think they were like $50 a battery. And in
Yeah.
today's
And that's for
market, that's not bad if the battery's pretty decent, seems to be relatively consistent, because even for a cheap, decent battery that I can find now, it's at least $100. So I do remember when I made a video years ago, they were like $30 for a battery. And obviously things have taken off and, prices are getting up there. But nonetheless,
yeah. I
I am
mean,
interested in hearing about that.
decent size batteries, 2 amp hours, and none of this crap. That why does a battery, like with these newer pens, these $1,000 pens that
Yeah.
come with things? Why does a battery need to have a software update? Why?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't be
It's only a
no
power source.
no reason. Look, I remember back again, guys. I am on my journey to quitting vaping. Thank you, guys. Pray for me if you can, because it is a struggle. But I am doing my best. Now, I say that only because I want to bring up vaping. I used to do a lot of like vape stuff back in the day with all these different mods, and it kind of feels like it does with the tattoo machines, where at first it was just like, okay, this is what we got, this is what we got, and then all of a sudden, like everybody started making a machine. Everybody wanted to get into the game of mods and stuff, right? And then it became you could software updates, right? So now your vape could be software update. You can plug it in, and nobody ever updated their software. No, I never got an update mod thing. It was a big deal. Everybody paid extra because it was upgradable or some crap, and nobody ever did it. Never. So again, I think we're in the same thing when it comes to these tattoo machines and these batteries that are, whatever it is, you can upgrade what are you doing? Really? It's a battery. We shouldn't have to, right, Andy? You shouldn't have to like
No,
get your battery remapped. I mean, what is it doing? It's just putting out, I don't know. It's mind numbing sometimes, and
it's
I'm
like
not
saying,
right about a lot of things, so I could be wrong
it,
here, but it just doesn't seem stupid.
it's only like your batteries only take replacing what used to be your power supply.
Yeah,
On your bench at side, on your on your table at side of you. And years ago, they were analog. You know what I mean? And a dial up front, it was like, just turn it up. It puts more voltage out of a transformer. And then they
right,
went to Then they went to first digital ones. You could put your voltage in, and it did it. You didn't need to do a software update on them.
right.
They're only regulating power, same as a
Yeah.
battery. So this is what I'm saying. Now, I've never bought into all that crap. I've never been one to buy into all that. It's like I just need a
Oh,
power supply, a no frills, no bull
I think
crap
we officially glitched out. I think we're gone.
power supply. I can plug in, set my voltage, and it's going
Hmm.
to work and it's going to last.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Let me go over here and let everybody know that I'm pretty sure the stream is over.
The stream is over. I don't know. I've still got people whacking up on. Oh, 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 where we going? Still going? Am I here on my own? Andy Solo. I'm still going. Dave's gone. He's gone to the toilet. He must have chucked himself. I don't know. I went on my own. I went on my own. They're all going, hell yeah. He says, Andy's still there.
Oh,
Dave's gone. I said, oh, he's gone to the toilet.
what happened, man? I'm going to throw this up. So it's freezing again.
Smoke, you've had too much, mate. We're not even here, mate. We've gone off air. Have you got a lag? No, are we still here? Are we still online?
I have no idea, Andy. Zero idea what's going on right now.
Smoke, can you see me? Am I still online, Smoke? Anybody? Are we live?
I think we are. I think we still
are
are, Andy.
Oh yeah, Mary's saying yeah, we're still live.
Oh my
Because we
gosh,
don't know whether we're live.
what a train
So
wreck.
yeah, we're not tech savvy here. Dave just hits a button and we either come on, go off, or whatever. It's just like, ooh.
Dude, it totally froze, man. Like you would say something on mine, it just
What makes
froze
Andy
completely.
fires up in regards to the tattoo industry? What do you mean, Chris? Fired up. What makes me fired up? Tattooing, talking to clients, art, just all of it. It's just such a laid back, chilled out atmosphere, and especially and having my own studio. Do you know what I mean, Dave?
Oh, sorry, I was laughing at people's comments. What's up, Andy?
Yeah, no, I mean, Chris is saying he wants to know what gets me fired up. It's just like I say, talking to people, having clients in, doing the art, having the chit chat, having my own studio, just all of it. Just all round, it's a laid back. I mean, I spent from the age of 16 to 40, what would it be, 44? From the age of 16 to 44, I spent in construction industry. Working for myself, outside, rain, hail, sleet, snow, grafting, to get it in, bring it family up. And now it's just like, and then I was doing it part-time like a lot of people are on here. And then it just got to the point, my family grew up. We didn't really need to chase. House is just about paid off. We don't owe anybody out. Bills are non-existent virtually. And we just, wife went, well, if you're ever going to do it, time now to get your own shop. So boom, off we went.
Yeah. You got to strike while the fire's hot, I suppose they say.
Yeah.
But reality is you got to know when you're ready and take a chance, right?
And I've never looked back. Honestly, never looked back. Yep. I go into work and I enjoy. The thing is, Dave, I enjoy going into work every single day, and every single day is different. You don't know who's coming through your door because of the type of shop I have. I should think at some point, because nobody's ever seen me in shop. Should do one either throat day or take to do a shop tour.
Just bring you got to do one where you just log into the link with your phone, man.
Yeah,
and then we can hang out in your shop. Everybody sees what's behind me all the time. We got to
see all my junk behind me.
Yeah,
and like I say, because as you know, we've got piercings going on. We've got tattoo. We've got 2 different machines for tattoo removals. We do laser hair removal, tattooing. So we've got it all going on in shop. All different rooms. They're all in separate rooms. So we've got we've got 1, 2, 3 rooms, reception, kitchen, and all that sort. So it's, but I just love going into work. I just enjoy it, you know.
Yeah. Plus, you know what's nice is the end of the day, as there's a sense of, you know, like completion, right? You get that gratitude of completion every day. You get to, whether you post the photo or not, you know, whether you love everything you do as far as from a, like, this is absolutely style I always want to do. But, you know, you get to do your best and see the results of it all on the same day and walk away happy almost every day, you know, ready to do it again the next day. And grateful that you get to BS with the client. You know, most of the clients are pretty decent to talk to. Most of them are enjoyable. You get a different story, different outlook on life every day from the person sitting in the chair. There are those occasions where it's not that way. And, you know, I guess that's in every career, job, everything.
Yeah. But it's like you, Dave. You have your studio is within your property. So you haven't got far. You come out of your house, you haven't got far to go to work.
20 steps.
Yeah. But then again, for me, I leave our house and walking, it only takes me 3 minutes to walk to work.
Oh, that's nice, man.
And I've got a separate shop. It only takes me literally 3 to 4 minutes to walk to work. So it's just everything just lined up for us, you know, to be where we are. And we've ended up building some really, really, really nice clientele up. And I'd say for 99% of the clientele, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? I couldn't ask for better clientele at all.
Wow. Danik, send me the tattoo, man. Shoot it over to me. If you have already, then I apologize. I'll go check it out. But,
Chris, this is what's follow me on Insta. It's on bottom of the screen, mate. My IG.
It's been there the whole freaking time, man.
Yeah, my IG and my Facebook. It's on bottom of the screen, buddy.
You know, the words down there.
Cheers, Danik. Danik put it on for him anyway. Thank you, Danik.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it's, and you've spoke, because you've been on about as well, that it is just a super chilled out atmosphere once you get running and, you know, tattooing and that. It's just a nice super chilled out atmosphere, and I don't run under high pressure or anything.
Andy, I got a question for you. Have you tried designing anything using AI?
AI?
Yeah.
Adobe Illustrator?
Artificial intelligence.
No.
You haven't? I've tattooed several pieces that were designed by AI already. I just don't talk about it because, I mean, it's so controversial right now.
Suck that. You do what you've got to do, Dave.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you
Well, your client
can't
happy
trust
with
me.
design.
AI will give you some wacky stuff sometimes. You have to, in my opinion, you got to take AI and mix it with like your own, right? So you might want to reference. So you're doing something, right? You want a peony, you want this, but you want it at this angle, you want it in black and gray, you want certain things because you got this overall thing you're building. So I use oh, what is it called? What is the AI called? Come on, Mid Journey,
Right.
Mid Journey, and so I'll type in, peony, right side of facing right, black and gray, high definition realism, water droplet coming off of it, blah blah blah. You got to be detail what it, and then hit it,
Yeah.
and it will produce what you ask it. It will produce a
Right.
version, 4 versions of it, and sometimes AI is like retarded. You're like, come on, man, I got to retype it, figure out. It might take a few times, right? But then it'll spit you out what you want. It's really good at faces, but so you take that and then you can add that to your piece and work on it and whatnot. It's not good for everything, and you even now I'm just barely practicing playing around with it. But I've only tattooed a few pieces with AI. Actually, probably more than that. Probably about 3 or 4 that have AI references in them. Even like I said, as simple as some flowers. Um, what else? A couple of faces. Uh, so anyhow, it's something to look into. It's a little bit crazy though. You got to kind of figure it out. I have to pay monthly, so because I ran out of my like 35 free tries, and I was like, wow, this is wild. And
Right. I mean,
what's up?
I no, I. You see, you do that, but let's say that you want a peony.
Yeah,
I'll go find an high resolution picture of a peony that I
yeah,
like, and then I use Photoshop. So what I'll do is I pull it in a Photoshop, and then from there I can flip it, twist it, warp it. I can put it in perspective. I can left hand side perspective. I can warp it, curve it, do invert it, do whatever I want in Photoshop with it. And then what I'll do there is, if I can't quite get it to a stencil, what I'll do there is then I'll ship it from there straight to my tablet, and then line it.
yeah.
But I don't use, and we've spoke, I don't like Apple products. I don't use Apple products. So mine's all Windows products.
Yeah, but see,
So
I could do the same thing as far as I can pull it in, stretch it, warp it, change it sideways. But AI is like a whole new breed of things you can do. Uh, I know it's come under controversy, and I have to wait to find out um, because they don't know if it's theft or not. Like, is it stealing other people's work and like mixing little pieces of everybody? So I don't know. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm just going, well, it's a tool. I remember when iPads came around. I remember everybody was like, oh, this, that, and the other with technology and all that. And so sometimes people are coming in later and having to learn something because they were stubborn. So I'm trying not to be stubborn. So I'm like, all right, I better get ahead of the ball game here and learn this stuff. And it is really cool. It is really cool. It's great for producing references. I mean, these are references that don't exist anywhere else. They never existed. AI put them together, created it for you out of bazillion different ideas and stuff out there. So it is pretty wild. But I mean, just in case you ever hear anything about it, it might be. It's a
yeah,
little. It's something to look into, man. I mean, it can
I'll
help,
look into it.
but it depends on
Just
what you're doing. If you're not really trying to just like design crazy sort of things or try to, if you don't need references outside of what's available, then it might not even be worth your time. You know what I mean? I have not needed it. I have used it not out of necessity, actually, but more so just out of curiosity, out of fun, and to some degree. Let me see what AI can come up with, and a lot of times it's nonsensical because it's still, I don't know, maybe it's learning, but anyhow, I just figured I'd ask you since we're just on the
Yeah, I
topic
mean,
of
I'm just
whatever.
looking at comments here. We should get a really coupon code off Ambition at this rate. Timot's
I can
World.
see that.
I've just ordered my Ambition Talks rotary machine.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope
Timbers.
it's decent. I hope it's definitely decent now, and you don't come back and say, "Cheers, you set of bastards. It was shit. You know
Oh
what I
man,
mean?
that's the fear. Anytime you tell anybody, that's like the hardest thing is you like something, you think it's great, but the
Yeah,
fear is that what if this other person, somebody gets it and they're like, "Oh, this is crap," and they think you're lying to them. It's like, well, that's what you thought. You have to stand by it. You know,
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
even have an opinion really. You haven't even gotten in the mail, so you can't tell them that you're like, you said it was good.
But
No, I told you it was a good price and it had the qualifications that I was looking for.
yeah, but
And
Chris,
actually, Chris said it was good. We believe you,
yeah,
Chris.
Chris said it were good. He's obviously, I think he said he's got two. I think he says he's got two. I don't know, and I don't know how long he's been using them for,
Right.
and I don't know how long what batteries he's using on them, and how long they last. But like I say,
Hey,
it'll be
Andy,
interesting.
Danik seems to think you got some shares in the company. You're saying, but you got some
No
of them.
chance.
I don't know, Danik. I think you might be onto something here. Are we
Yeah.
getting bamboozled here by is Andy bamboozling us? Huh?
Well, I don't know what you're on about. It's my company, so I just I wish. I wish.
Oh shoot. Yeah, okay. So Are You Later? She knows what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm just going through old photos here.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Jason, I get it. He's like, I'm staying away from him. Like, I get you, man. I get you. If it gets any creepier, it's just like that Chat GPT. That stuff's creepy too. I don't play with that because that's outside of my realm of work. I don't work in asking the computer life decisions and stuff. I'm just like, hey, can this computer help me find a cool lion reference? Because everybody tattoos the same three, then maybe that'll help. Uh, but it's also just like any other tool. You got to learn how to use it. You got to decide whether it's a tool you need or not. Blah 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 blah. All
Yeah,
right.
Chris has just had him just under a month. But nice to see some work that he's done with them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's got an Insta. I don't like that we
Yeah,
can
Chris,
check
if you
out. It'd
do,
be nice to see some work that's been done with Taught.
yeah, throw it in the chat if you feel like, Chris. If you don't, I totally understand, man. But if you
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
inclined to throw that in the chat there, your Instagram, that way people can see like, huh, all right. And obviously, not all your work's been done with it. You've only had it for a month. Are You Later says, I love Chat GPT. I made it write the consent form. Apprentice tattoo artist. Okay. Well, now that I see that you're utilizing it for the purpose of tattoo related stuff, I might have to look into the Chat GPT. I'm not gonna lie. I bet you can make ChatGPT write you an entire script for a YouTube video, and then you can have it learn your voice. You can do that voice thing where it learns your voice, and then you can put in the description that ChatGPT wrote for you into the voice thing, and then it'll just make you an entire podcast. Wow. That's wild. So,
yeah,
but it's gonna be creepy, man, because I don't know. Technology's getting to the point where it's getting. I don't know. Before long, it's gonna be using us. We're gonna be using it.
yeah. We'll just wait for it. But it won't be long. A few more years, and you never know. We might even get replace the tattoo artist. Might get some sort of portable print, tattoo machine that you just put over the leg and upload it
Right.
in off your computer and just sit it in and it just moves down leg and tattoos it or whatever. It's
Yeah. It is. It's gonna like scan in. It's gonna know skin is read how deep the skin is and know exactly how many.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
want to. I just like to see her, and I shouldn't say this, and I shouldn't say it on air, but I'd just like to see a machine like that tattoo somebody's leg that's, shall we say, on the larger side rather than the slimmer side. Stretching the skin and everything.
That's true. See, that
Because
would
it
be the other
wouldn't
thing.
be,
How's it gonna stretch the skin?
yeah, because it wouldn't be a one size fits all, would it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, Art Later says, look, saw a guy who made a full website in Chat GPT and in Mid Valley in like 8 minutes. Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT can write entire code for you in just seconds. You can just tell it like, I want this code, and just write it for you. I've never messed with it, but I watched some videos of other people messing with it, and man, it's crazy because I'm like, I'm just barely scratching the surface of this art AI, man. I don't know if I want to get all wrapped up in the GPT side too. It seems a bit crazy. Here, I felt like the crazy one telling Andy about AI now, or talking about
Yeah.
making all this other crap and stuff. It's like, oh,
I'm
I don't
saying.
know. You let us
You
know
know,
how it goes, are you later? We'll come to you for all that stuff.
Sat there having a conversation with the computer. It's like,
It's true though. That's what they're like, you know. And then they have one AI battle the other and communicate. Like now they're arguing with each other and stuff. And then, oh geez, this goes on. And when you watch like 2 AI YouTube videos, and then if YouTube just like give them everything. So it's like ChatGPT, AI. So you watch a few, you're like, all right, life's about to end shortly. I better get the heck out of here. I'm just gonna enjoy the help me make tattoo AI, and yeah. So
what's that? Hey, Chris, I love how Andy doesn't like Insta.
No, we do love Insta. No, we was telling you to just emailed you. We'll see.
He says I don't like Insta. Why don't I like Insta? I mean, you're right. I'm not right fussed for Insta. But how do you know I don't like Insta?
Right. Who told you? How'd you know Andy don't like Instagram?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, Insta don't, other than showcasing a bit of work and that, it doesn't do a right lot for you, especially business-wise. It's Facebook does more for you. I mean, it's pretty much just an online portfolio.
There's Chris's tattoo with that machine.
Cool. I mean,
looks fine to me.
Line work. I mean, I'd love to know which cam you had in.
Yeah.
At this, what cam you had in and what needle you used.
I think that's got to be some sort of a round shader and pretty decent size, maybe like a 9 or something. Just guessing. I have no idea really. 7 maybe. But yeah, it's punched in pretty nicely there.
It is. It's in there.
Yeah. Punched in nice. The bit of whip he's got going on, little dot stipple thing.
8-round shader.
8-round shader. Yeah, it had to have been a shader. Look at that. 7 or 9. Of course, it's got to be the one in the middle, right?
What cam are you using on this, Chris?
I'd reckon the 5mm cam.
4.5. Because I'm running 3.5 in the other machine, so I'm going straight onto a 4.5 when this one comes.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But yeah, them lines are drilled. Them lines are bulletproof. You know what I mean? They are there.
Yeah, they're solid without being.
I use the 5. No, I use the 5-foot lines and the 4.5 for shading the stipple. Cool.
Sounds about right. Now, are you switching your cam out in between tattoo? Or
he
said he had 2 machines. He had 2. Yeah. At that price, you could get 2 machines and not break the bank. Even at that price, what? Maybe under $400 or $400. Have 2 machines and the batteries and everything, so you can have 2 set up differently. Like I run a 3.5mm machine and I run a 4.2mm machine, and I line and pack with one and shade with the other. And so you could do the same thing at a fraction of the price.
I mean, crap me. Yeah. I mean, Jesus. I mean, at that money, they're now undisposable. You know what I mean? It's like I say, they're now undisposable. Them things.
Yeah.
They are so cheap. I got 2 on sale for under $300
with batteries. With batteries. God, I don't even need another machine, man. I got enough machines. I'll probably buy one just for the sake of it at this time. Dang it, we'll all be running the same machines. Then there's no excuse. We're gonna know what everybody has.
Honestly, Dave, I've got fingers crossed, mate. I hope it's as good as the reviews. I hope it is.
They are too, man. You deserve a win after the last machine. You know what I mean?
After the last machine would have bust. It was just absolute garbage.
Well, I'm glad you found out, though, Andy. I think you really took one for the team because you were able to come here and share with everybody, like, hey, guys, this machine sounds great. It's not. Don't do it. And
it was junk.
That was good. I think you probably saved people money. I mean, I know you had to buy it to find out, but at least you shared it.
But it is. I mean, that's all you can do in it. It's just absolute junk with that machine.
Oh, I thought Smoke said he used an 8mm stroke for line.
That's a jackhammer.
You stop lying, but I think he's referring to his voltage. I hope that, or he's just out there. He's out. What is it? I don't know what the word is. Just messing around.
Yeah, Tibbetts. Just the pen. Just cost him, I think it's $62 with 10% off.
Oh, my goodness.
Later, was it Dragonhawk, Andy? What? No. Later, that machine that I got was garbage. Yes, it was. It was a Dragon Hawk Fold Pro, and it was the biggest pile of crap you could ever purchase. You'd have been better off doing stick and poke. You'd have had better results with stick and poke than a Fold Pro.
But they did market that pretty good. It did seem pretty decent. Yeah. The batteries were the right, they were side, tactile, yada, yada.
The thing is, they packaged it up, they labelled it and everything that well, and they promoted it that well. They sold out of the bloody things.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. It took way long for you to get it. Oh, yeah. Chris also tried the Dragon Hawk Fold, and he agrees. So, hey, at least he tried a machine you didn't like, and he didn't like it. So your odds are in your favor that this machine is going to be a good one. Yeah. I want to buy the batteries because I have machines I love to use. I'm used to them. I would just like to have some more tactile batteries, side operated, yada yada. Yep. So I'm really. Hey, Chris, do you have the batteries? How do you like them? I'm just going to ask Chris, and then I'll cross-reference that with Andy when his come in.
Yeah, it depends which batteries he's got, because they do a couple, Dave.
Oh, okay.
I've purchased, mine's come with the Ambition Quark, Quark, Quark batteries, which are like 2 amp hour, but they're not very big. They're only about 50 mil, 2-inch max type thing.
Okay.
But I wanted something that was 2 amp hour at least.
Yeah.
That, so that you get a decent running time, and I've got a spare one, to charge up at the same time. So I will be interested to see, but it'd be interesting to see whether he's actually used Ambition's own batteries and see what he thinks, see what Chris actually thinks about them. And see which battery he got that come with it.
I said you got a kit that came with the Quark
battery. I got the
battery.
Kit that came with the Ambition Quark battery.
Oh, he's been using
I've been using the Criticals. Yeah. But the thing as well is with these machines that come, I hope they are, because they come in proper pouches, zip-up pouches, not just a box. It's a zip-up pouch that if you go into a convention at all, you zip it all up and it's all this in and out and everything, placements for it.
Yeah. The battery wasn't bad, but the constant power from the Critical is too good. Okay, fair. I'll have to check them out then. Might be worth just ordering one and testing it out at the cost that they are, and then let people know how they go, But you're right. You gotta be careful. There is some batteries that just suck. Battery wasn't bad, but the consistent. Okay, so you're not, honestly, Chris, it sounds like you're really not even sure. You're just like, hey, I tried it wasn't bad, but I just immediately used your Criticals because why not? You have them. I get it. I do too, but I think that the one's kind of pooped and the other one's on its way out. So I'm like, it might be time to start looking at new batteries. So anyhow, I'll check it out.
It's like it says, so wait for Old Faithfuls. I get it. I totally get it. It's if you've got a really good power supply, battery that you really like using and you like the weight and the feel of, I do get why not continue using it.
Yeah. I agree. And the Artulator said, I think she said something about a battery she had tried
from
Mass, maybe. Yeah, I have heard. I've never tried any. The only thing I've tried from Dragon Hawk, or the only thing I've ever used really, is I have a thermal printer from them that somebody gave me like years ago when I first started, and I thought, I'll use it for now until I get something. Well, I have one that will print them out. I have a couple different, and I still use that same one because it just gives me personally the strongest stencil, the most longest lasting stencil, the richest stencil, so I got that. Yeah. Now I like their needles, man. Their needles are these have been really good. Other than that, I honestly haven't tried anything of theirs. Because like I said, I really haven't. So I wanted to try the Flip. That seemed really cool. I thought, wow, that'd be decent. But Andy tried it and found out that it was, or the Fold, or whichever one it was.
Yeah, I got the Fold. But then again, the other machine that I got that via Dragon Hawk. It's not one of their machines, but I got it via Dragon Hawk. And like I said, I thought it was that good. I bought 2. I've got one as a spare. and it was only
Oh
up
yeah.
until other month that I had to use it when motor went on other one. But they sent me, I got in touch and I could get the motor. I bought 2 motors, in fact, so I've got a spare motor. But their batteries, they're 2 amp hour batteries, and I've used them every day
Nice.
for 3 years, and I still get
Wow,
10,
that is
11, 12
awesome,
hours
man.
out of their batteries, no
And now,
problem.
who makes those batteries?
Yeah. They're
Oh,
actually a
okay,
dedicated
okay.
battery for the machine.
Gotcha.
They're actually, yeah, they're the dedicated battery for the machine, but that's why this time I just
No, that's
wanted a
fair.
separate battery with an RCA connector that could be
Yeah,
moved around if needed be.
definitely.
But the machine that I use, like I say, it's an Arena. It's an Arena Airhawk that I use.
Nice.
And I've been using it for 3 years. 3.5mm direct drive, and the battery's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
So you're just kind of
Um,
looking for, just trying to find something else that fits your fancy kind of. And so you're like, got these lists of things you were looking for,
yeah,
found those things and said, okay, at this price, I can't, you know what I mean? It's worth a try. And it
can't not
sounds
try
like
it.
you might be off to something decent here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. And this Chris has asked if I moved to Texas yet. No, Chris, I have not moved to Texas yet. We won't be moving till the end of July. I think maybe even August 1st. So last couple days in July. My mother's birthday is the end of July. I want to stay for her birthday, and then we'll be off a day or two after that, pretty much right around August 1st. And so I might go quiet for a couple weeks, and we'll try to at least maintain a live stream here or there. But it might be a few weeks of me getting out there, getting a place, and then whatnot. Chris, yes, I did have a battery shit out on me. Yes. Now I don't think it's the battery in and of itself. I believe it's the connector at the bottom. I guess I need to open the battery up and maybe reseat said connector. So eventually I'll get around to that. But a company had sent me another battery to test out a while back, and I've been running that as my second battery. And then I keep the XW Plus machine as just a backup machine in general. It'll do what I need it to do, for a backup machine. I've never had to use it as backup. I just keep one machine as a backup to those 2 machines because it has its own proprietary batteries. So I don't have to worry about them being dead. They'll be charged. All that will be good to go. Yada yada. And then Danik says, meet with Daniel Yuck as well. Yes, I've talked to Daniel Yuck. He's out in San Antonio. I didn't know that. Somebody brought to my attention, and I think he messaged me. And yeah, we'll see about maybe meeting up with him, saying hi. And then if I'm ever in a shop and I get something going on there, I said he's always welcome. So we'll see what goes on with Daniel. And then Chris says, I deliver to New Braunfels quite often is why I asked. Just wanted to stop by and say what's up. No problem, man. That is exactly the area we'll be. I'm sure you know that. I think I said that in the video. So, yeah, we'll definitely be in that location. That's where we want to be, in that general area. So I look forward to definitely seeing you there, man. Okay, I got all those words out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's
Mm-hmm.
all good. And then hopefully, like I say, once you get out there, Dave, and say you get your send set up, you can get your send into a shop or a booth or whatever and work your way out from there, and hopefully either end up with your own place.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. And just understanding in my brain, get my head wrapped around the fact that I don't have to. I think for the longest time it was like I have to work in my own place, and really I just want to make tattoos. And I would love to be in that position again where I can have my own space or whatnot, and also have other people there as well to learn from, help out, the whole 9 yards. So that would be the end goal. But I'm fine with that being a process. I've definitely got a few spots out there through connections here on YouTube. A couple great
Yeah,
people put me in contact with some other shops in Texas in that general area that have spots that I can work in, booths I can rent, nice, decent shops So I look forward to, I'll probably be doing that, renting a booth in someone's shop for the first X amount of time. I don't know how long, but yeah, I would ideally like to open my own shop, but I have some military disability things that might slow me down. I might have to work out or whatnot to make that happen. So we'll see what happens, but that would be the goal.
I mean,
I'm not going there and trying to open up a shop, though. I'm going down there to work, and then maybe in a year or so, it just depends. You know what I mean? You don't know about keeping my options open, life ideas open as far as how that goes. But if I am able to, there's definitely openings for some people. I would love to bring in, like, ideally, we all have ideas, dreams. It'd be great to open a shop up there and have room for 5 or 6 of these a-holes in the chat, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That we've seen progress along and whatnot, and we just know it'll be great to
If not,
give other people an opportunity.
If not, what you'll have to do is you'll have to get to these down that are in chat and that, and just up Dave's Death Punch Tattooing Academy. You know what I mean? Just try to do it like just get them in front of you, and that way, then when they're trying to give you crap like they're doing chat, you can just give them a go on, get on with it. You're doing it crap. Come on.
Yeah. By that time it'll be, oh, what can I do? I don't know. Go watch the video. I'm done. I'm retired from from showing. It's tough because I think when you are helping people tattoo, you gotta explain what you know when you know it, because then as you move along, you tend to forget all those things that you struggled with. You remember them, but you don't remember like all the ways you got over them. But if you explain it along the way, you can, So it's kind of hard to go back and try to help somebody now, because it's in some ways it's better, in some ways it's harder. I think we've had this conversation before, Andy, where it was easier then to tell you do this, that, and the other, because that's what I did and that's what worked. Yeah. But then the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know, and how much I can't tell somebody to just go do that, because now I know that there's like 15 other things that go into that one thing, So, yeah, I don't know.
It's like what's on there
again here.
Mary, Andy, you would also love another country. Not sure what you mean there, but only time I love another country is when I'm going on holiday and I'm ligged round a pool or on the beach getting a suntan. I like other countries, but
yeah, Andy's pretty established there. Got a family and everything.
Yeah, plus, like you say, I mean, my own
job,
and even when you're not doing all, you see, you've got good clientele that, even if they're passing, you see, with my clientele, even if they're passing and they're not doing it and they've got half an hour to kill, they'll call in, they'll have a drink, they'll have a cuppa or whatever with you. Even down to a point, we've got some good clients now, they'll walk in shop, they'll go high, they'll walk straight past you, walk in the kitchen, go make themselves a drink and shout, if you want, do you want a drink as well? But I wouldn't have it any other way, Dave. Do you know
that's
what I mean?
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Somebody else has put Tibbet. How did you and Andy meet up? YouTube.
I was just scrolling down the block there, saw your shop was open, came in, and no, right here, Andy was a big supporter of the channel. He was encouraging the whole way through, and we just got to know each other through the comment section on
that were back in COVID times.
Yeah.
Back in COVID times,
you had a lot of downtime, didn't you?
Yeah. And it was back in COVID times. You were banging a fair few videos out back then, weren't you? And I got chatting through comments and everything, when you were putting videos out. And just from there on in. And then they kept saying, no, you'll have to come on alive, this, that, and other. And it took me forever.
Right.
My ass were nipping and my knees were knocking. And it's like, oh, God, I've got to show my ugly mug on camera and this, that, and other. But we did it eventually.
We did, yeah. I didn't even know you were super nervous either. It wasn't until like a month ago. He was like, I was so nervous. Yeah. I don't know. You were telling me how scared you were, or not scared, just kind of like nervous about it. I said, well, it didn't show, man. You did good. It takes a little while. You got to get past seeing yourself on camera and just go, yeah, you look like, we hate, everybody I assume hates the way they look and sound. So you get past that and you just, okay, this is my goofy voice and this is my goofy face. And then you don't care anymore. And look how far you've come, Andy. Now you don't care anymore.
Yeah. And it's it's one of them. You've just got to chill out, because at first you're like, oh, I'm going on Dave's channel. It's like, how have I got to act? How have I got to look? How have I got to do this? And it's like, well, actually, you just got to be yourself. Just forget that that's there, and just be yourself. And that's it. But oh yeah, I mean, arse were nipping before I come on, knees were knocking, But here we go. I mean, what we in? God, we're going to be coming up for about, is it about 10, 11 months now?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think we've been doing this thing for a while now. And, there's really no skin in this. This is really just the enjoyment that we get from talking to people and whatnot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I monetize these streams, but I don't even know why. It really I think they make like anywhere from $5 to $10, So 3 hours of your time could be spent designing tattoos that make way more money, right? So for the people who think that we're getting rich, Andy doesn't even make the $10. Andy doesn't even get the $10, man. You know what I mean? He gets to stay up all night.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Only thing I get out of it is bags under my eyes.
Hey, that's a steal, man. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I got nothing to go. I was gonna go somewhere with that, but I went. I got nothing.
But no, I mean, it's nice to do something different. When you're revolving around tattoo world, and me and you are quite similar, that pretty much keep herself to herself with tattooing industry and just do his own shit.
Yeah.
That it's just nice to come in here and chat to other people, help other people, just get away from it and do something different.
Yeah, especially when everybody is stuck in themselves. Like, I'm stuck here by myself. I don't really know. I don't speak to another tattoo artist in this area, partially by choice and partially because I don't have time to go anywhere, So I can imagine that there's plenty of other people out there in the same boat who are like, I go to work, I come home, I do the tattooing on the side because I practice, I do this one, that, and the other. And I mean, YouTube offers a place for people to kind of say hi and be like, yeah, I suck at that too. I struggle with that. And I'm pretty sure that's all we do here. You have the 35 like diehard watchers towards the end. We usually know like towards the end of the stream, there's usually about 30 to 35 who are like here no matter what kind of mumbo jumbo we speak.
I'm going to say usually past few times and it's been like, we're just sat here chatting crap, about tattooing and that between ourselves or whatever on camera.
Yeah, we do 2 hours of critique and then an hour of BS and about random stuff. Today was Andy's tattoo machine, batteries.
Yeah, and it's but then again, it's like you've said before though, Dave. Usually we usually do this off camera.
Yeah,
we do this off camera, but there's 35 people that want to sit here and listen to us chat real life bullshit then about tattooing. And if any questions or come up and we can ask you can ask us, then fair enough. It just, but hey,
yeah, I mean, the Smoke, he gave up a hockey game to be here. Man, that's true love.
That's
love. You see that? You don't get that. You don't get that elsewhere. Yeah, appreciate you, Smoke.
Of course we do.
Of
course we do. And it's nice to see that Smoke's actually taken the plunge and started posting work up on Instagram, this, that, and other.
Yep.
He's been a diehard. He's been here for a long time, like a lot of others. And that it's nice to start seeing, developing.
Yeah, Smoke, when you checked out your work, you and your wife, come on. Good to see you guys are doing some work, man. And it's not looking bad. We got some lines that are pretty consistent. Keep at it, man. Keep at it. For sure. Kayla, who are you talking to? Kayla's over here talking. She wants a unique piece from FR. Who is FR on here? FR. If you're FR, Kayla is looking for a tattoo. She likes your designs.
FR.
All right, I figured I would just let that FR person know. Smoke, gonna do more. Good, man. Good.
No, I gave up packing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell me you tattooed your wife and she's kicked you out, and you just decided not to finish packing your bags until end of stream.
Oh shoot. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Oh, for me, Kayla. Oh, sweet. Well, shoot me a DM, Kayla. I got towards the end of March is available at this point. But yeah, send me a DM, Kayla, and we can work something out. If you're in Texas, then it might be a little while, but you can still let me know now. I'll probably forget, but I'll have it in the DM so I can refer back to it. Oh, FR means for real. Okay, well, just better get up with the. Are you? She says. Earlier says I gave up. She gave up sex. Wow. Well. All right.
Who did?
Sacrifices were made today, guys. Sacrifices were made. Yes. Laughing faces. I like it. Oh, shoot. Well, Andy, I think we're 3 hours and 10 minutes in.
I'm trying to play catch up.
What's that, Andy?
Yeah, I think. Say that again, Dave. What you said?
I said, I think we're getting close. I don't have any social, but you best believe me, I'm going to come find you and see you, my man. Yes, please do.
Stalker, body boiler.
Yeah, if you want something cool. If you don't want something cool, then don't come find me. I'm just kidding. I usually appease most everybody, and I don't turn down a whole lot. Some things more so lately, but not so much. So definitely. Well, my social media is at the bottom of the screen here, right next to Andy's. Yeah, Andy's and my own. So if you want to find us, you can. If you want to create a little social media, create a little Facebook, create a little IG, just for the sake of messaging certain people, feel free to do it. It is the best way to get a hold of me at this current time. I don't have an email or what is that website? Don't think I'm cool enough for that yet.
I'll just throw into the mix that when you do message Dave, don't feel upset that if it's 2 weeks later when he comes back to you, that's just the norm. You're doing well if it's within the 2 weeks, you're doing really, really well.
It's partially true. Now, here's the part that I don't tell everybody. If it's work related, I usually get back to you within a couple of days. 2 days or less. Mary or Jason,
2 days.
Don't be putting my laundry out there like that, man. Because you're right. You're right. It's something I'm literally working on. I mean it. Genuinely putting in a little bit of effort to try to get better at replying to people. But I'm always living the moment, right? So I'm always like in it right now. So if somebody messages me right now, it's like I'm doing this thing right now. I'm not going to be bothered. I want to do this. If I'm playing with my kids, if I'm watching TV with my wife, if I'm working on tattoo design, pretty much if I'm doing anything. It's like I want to do this right now. And so there's usually a big delay between me getting back to people sometimes. So
yeah, it's like
beating the dead horse on that one.
It's put on there. Andy, you need anything? It's put on there. Andy, you need anything? I'm cuss me, man. I'm just living life as it comes every day. You know what I mean? I'm just chilling, enjoying everything as it comes along. Honestly, I mean, I don't really need for help. Me, it's like I say. I mean, it's just one of them things. You know what I mean, Dave? It's just happy doing what I'm doing, and that's it.
Yeah,
and sleep. No, Danik. No matter how much sleep I've done, it won't work for this face. You know what I mean? It's too old. It's too wizened. And even a good plastic surgeon would have problems sorting this out. So never mind just a bit of bloated sleep. Just won't work, mate.
Oh, dang, Andy. Okay. Well, guys, we better jump off here, Andy, because we know if we don't, we'll just be black. We'll be on another hour and a half.
I was going to say we'll end up being on here for another hour. You know what I mean, Dave? And
yeah, I do, man. I do. It
won't be the first time we've pushed out past the 4 hour mark, will it?
No, it wouldn't be. That's why we've gotten disciplined now. We're trying to control ourselves. But it's been 2 weeks, guys, so whatever.
Yeah. Just give me a little bit extra.
Yeah, a little wiggle room here.
That's what I say to all the girls. You know what I mean?
Your wife's still right on the other side of the table over there. She fell asleep, didn't she? That's why you're getting all get
Yeah.
wild over
So,
there, huh?
but hey, we come on. We, like you said, Dave, we come on. We do a few critiques, and then we try to have a bit of fun now, and
Yeah.
have a bit of fun at the end of it.
Yeah, just BS a bit, get a little, because you never know what's gonna come up. You know, you can get to talking about something. Somebody might learn something. Who
Yeah.
knows? You never know. Yeah. Kayla says, for real though, I'd do whatever. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm definitely lean 99% towards black and gray work, and with a bit of color these days. You know, I'm really trying to double down and do what I truly enjoy if I can get away with it. But can't do it all the time because I still got to eat, so I got to do everything. But anyhow, all right, everybody, I will say goodbye. Andy?
Yep. Well, that's it. We were going to say goodbye for another week.
Yep. Until next Sunday.
We appreciate everybody being here. And like you say, all this info's at the bottom of the screen, isn't it, Dave? And
it is.
All that. I mean, they're all dieharders. They know where to find us and this, that, and other. But it's been a good stream. We enjoyed everybody that's been in.
Me too. You guys in the chat have been awesome today. Thank you for such a fun time as well, because me and Andy talk after these things are over and we're like, well, you know, we feed off the chat, especially we don't worry about numbers so much. We just like to see what's going on over there, interact, have some fun. That's it. That's all it is. So appreciate you guys. Until next week, have a good one. Peace out.